What's up, my man?
Yo, what's going on, Mike?
I'm chilling. Where are you?
Oh, I'm in a car in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm on vacation with my
Oh shit.
kids. Yeah, I'm on vacation with my kids. We were walking around all day in 100-degree heat. That's not the vacation that I would choose, but it was pretty fun actually. And I got I did manage to ditch my wife and kids to come do my favorite thing in the world to do, which is Mike and Michelle on Thursday nights.
That's right. Of course it is. So you doing some pilgrim shit or what?
I'm learning about some pilgrim shit, dude. I gotta tell
Yeah.
you right now, I have never been a school type person. I believe it. I know you can look at me and you think I'm a scholar, but
Right.
I was never a school
Yeah.
kid. I hated history. I gotta tell you, man, I freaking loved it. We went on the Mayflower today. I checked that out, and then we went to Plymouth Rock. And like my favorite part of the entire day was listening to this old man with the bushiest eyebrows I've ever seen in my life talk about. I'm talking, dude. This guy had fucking you wouldn't even believe it. Um, yeah, I gotta say, I'm having a good time up here, but we got a big show tonight. Who we got on, Mike?
Let's see. We have the hero himself, a real life superhero, Quentin Henry, on the show first. And then after that, we have one half of the BKFC 20 main event, Reggie Barnett Jr. He will be joining us. And then we have one half of a female fight, both females, first time bare knuckle fighting. Audra Cummings will be on the show for the second time. And we haven't talked to her for a while. Way back, we talked to her before she even knew if she was going to fight or not. But she thought she would fight. But now they're finally fighting, and it's coming up quick. So
well let's do
I'm
this
excited.
shit.
It's going to be awesome. So without further ado, let's bring in the hero right now, Quentin Henry. What's going on?
Hey.
What's going on, Quentin Hero Henry? How are you, sir?
All doing all right. Just finished up the gym.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? We haven't seen you probably since Birmingham. It's good to see you again. Good to talk to you again. How are things in the Heroes world right now?
Man, they're busy, but in a good way. We just got my I had two locations for my gyms. I had like a striking location and I had one that was like a jiu-jitsu school, and I just got those brought into one building. So now we're all in one location. It's a little bit bigger. I got me a little office, as you see. What? You want to check it out? Look,
yeah, hell yeah!
Look, I got my flags.
Look at it. American flags we have,
bro.
Look, I got belts and stuff. Computer, PlayStation. We're good to go in here. But yeah, getting it set up. I had two gyms, like I said, prior to the COVID or the Corona or whatever it is, and then that shit.
Corona.
Pretty much both of them, and I was finally able to squeak through and get under one roof. This was the goal in the beginning anyway, but just not the path I planned to take to get here. But we made it. What up, Dan?
And what's the name of your place now? Is it the Hero Academy? Is that what it is?
Hero Fitness Academy.
Hero Fitness Academy. I saw videos, I think on like Instagram, maybe. It looks like a pretty big place. You bought like a warehouse or something like that, right?
Yeah. I've got I got about 3,000 square feet here. So with a little office and waiting room and stuff. So I'm a little more legit. I had a good place before. It was just kind of small. Kind of like in a strip place, and then my striking school, that was pretty much just where my bare knuckle stuff went down, and it was kind of grungy, but I liked that about it. But now we got it all under one roof. So yeah, it's a lot easier now. I used to have to go back and forth. I'd have to go teach jiu-jitsu in Calhoun, which is the next town over, and then I'd get done with jiu-jitsu and drive across town to my other school so I could go train for my fight or train my guys or whatever. Now it's just I get to do one, and then it's over. I start another. So it's taking a little of the stress away.
Yeah, and last time we saw you fight was against an absolute legend. Mike and I were there in person to see that fight. You had a little blood sport moment at one point in the fight. I got to tell you, man, you came out on the losing end, but that was one hell of an entertaining fight between two absolute savages. I know you're looking to bounce back on that one, but when you think back on that, you regret anything you did in that fight, or
Oh
you
man,
know?
yeah, I mean, I wish I would have fought like I was supposed to. I kind of let the hype of the fight, what it was supposed to be, to kind of get to me. Especially, I kind of lost my head a little bit. At one point, I got to where, before the eye poke, I was feeling great. I was almost feeling like it was too easy, and because like I was like a step ahead of everything I was doing, but not a step ahead in a good way, like a step too far ahead. Like, and I was just kind of getting it dialed in. And then, after the eye poke or whatever, the shot, it just kind of, all that shit went out the window, and I just went berserk, I guess. It was like, I didn't have any fear at that point. I wasn't really worried about what was going to happen. It was, but I couldn't see. And, I knew it was probably going to hurt worse if I was going backwards, not being able to see to get hit, than going forward, so that's what I did. I just bit down on my mouthpiece and I went at him, and he caught me, but our rhythms were off. I didn't have the right rhythm. I was going too fast, and fighting's like dancing. It's when the shot connects, when the beats line up, and it just happened to catch on his rhythm and not mine.
Well, it certainly was awesome. I have to ask you this question because we were just talking about this. And Big Ben, we know Big Ben. He says, "Why does Washington think he has a shot against you?" Laughed my ass off.
He's just trying to ride that 15 minutes of fame that he thought he had. Didn't he get knocked the fuck out in his last fight? Like 7 seconds or something like that?
I heard you say that earlier, and I was wondering what fight you were talking about because I didn't know if he had fought after the Jones fight, so I had no idea.
Had another fight and got his ass beat up or whatever, but he can catch these fucking hands anytime he wants to. He just got to step up. I'll be in Biloxi next weekend. Don't think it wouldn't happen.
And another question in the comments, which I want to ask you, and nothing against you, Quentin, but you were saying it was an eye poke. Big Ben says, "When was there an eye poke?" Do you go back and watch that fight and think that you?
Y'all
Yeah.
See that scar right here on my eyelid?
Was there a fingernail?
Yeah, I had 2 stitches on my fucking eyelid. You gonna tell me it wasn't an eye poke? What the fuck else?
No, I'm gonna say no. I'm just saying, like in the replays, it didn't look like it looked like his knuckle got you.
Like
But
it looked like it went way in from the. We're watching the TVs at the stadium.
Whatever it was in my fucking eye. I'm not saying it was intentional or it was dirty. It was an eye poke.
Right.
It wasn't like it was, something. I'm not using that for an excuse. It's just something that happened in the fight. You can go back and listen to any of my interviews. I don't think he did it intentionally, but it sure didn't fucking seem right, because the referee had said, and even if it wasn't an eye poke, the ref had said break twice, then he hit me, and then he said break again and grabbed us and split us up. So, I don't think he would ever try and gouge my fucking eye out or nothing like that. This is bare knuckle. That shit just kind of happened. I was more frustrated that I was hit during a break, and then during the break, then they told me, it was supposedly a foul, but I didn't get my 5 minutes. But then they told me I had to fight right then or I was going to lose. So I said, fuck that. I couldn't fight. And then we went back at it, type of deal. It was just an unfortunate chain of events that went down. And I think I got handed some lemons and we made lemonade out of it. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Either way, man, I'll tell you right now, like I said, like we were just saying, it was a confusing thing for the people live in the audience right there. I don't know what the people on TV were, when they were watching on TV, what they were thinking, but us standing right there, we're like, what in the fuck is actually going on here? And then we're like, they stop.
Oh, you can see every one of his knuckles except for the end of his thumb.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck hit me, but that's the only thing that wasn't visible by the camera.
It was really wild. Yeah, it was really wild. But then like after a few minutes, we thought they were going to stop the fight. And then boom, all of a sudden the fight's going on and you shot right back out of a cannon at him again. And you looked like you were fucking getting him the second time. And then he just caught you. But you know what? Losing to a guy like Chris Lieben, that's nothing to fucking be ashamed of. The guy's a fucking absolute walking legend. And we all love Chris Lieben too. So, it was awesome.
I would be upset about it if I felt like he was actually better than me. I he's a veteran. He weathered the storm and he kept his head better than I did. And it didn't come down to skill or anything like that. It was just, I didn't play the game right and he did. So that's something that I can always live with. And I can get better from it. I definitely feel like I learned. I don't feel like I lost that fight. I know it's a loss on my record, whatever. I'm not trying to pull like a Sean O'Malley or whatnot. But
It never happened.
I did lose. But, in the long run, I didn't, because I feel like I learned a lot more from that fight. I gained a lot of confidence in what I was doing, because I was standing in there with the legend and he wasn't chasing me down. He was running. I had him backpedaling. You know what I mean? So, and until I did lose my cool and all that, I was moving good. He wasn't landing the shots. I was landing the shots I thought I was going to land. So I mean, it wasn't a failure on my part. It was more just a failure of execution, but that's always something you can go back to the drawing board and work on.
Yeah, I know you've probably heard the phrase losing up. I feel like you didn't lose anything at all. I feel like you gained fans, your whole persona, the way that you fought. Losing, I don't think you lost anything. Besides that number in your record, I think you actually gained many fans after that. You're pretty popular. I think by watching you walk around, because we were in Birmingham, we were in Knucklemania, but in Birmingham, I feel like people are talking to you left and right. People want to say hi to you. People want to know who you are. You got that, you got your whole persona. You got the glasses, you got the mullet, the All-American thing. People love that shit, and you're pulling it off for sure.
Yeah, man, it's just how I grew up. You can go look at my baby pictures of mullets. I just decided to bring it back about 2 years ago. What's funny though is I went mullet, and then now all the little boys around town, they all got mullets and stuff, and their mamas are putting messages, posts. They're like, my son's got this mullet and he wants to start school back. What do y'all think? I'm like, mullets are for men.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see a problem here.
Put 2 lines in the side and send them to school.
Hey, just go. Joe Dirt had a hot girlfriend. Yeah, is what it is. Right?
Yeah, man.
It's pronounced Dirte.
Dirte. Dang.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? You got we talked about the Lieben fight. We talked about your star power growing. You're definitely one of the faces of the BKFC. But you got a pretty good fight coming up next week against another pretty big, powerful dude that's coming down from heavyweight. How are you feeling going in against Jay Fish?
Man, I feel pretty good. I thought Jay was a 205er from the first time I saw him. So, he's not a guy
He's
that's
short.
Yeah, I mean, you stand next to Mark Godbeer, you're like, this motherfucker's a heavyweight. You know what I mean? Or Tony Lopez, or Joey Beltran. Those guys. I think this was a weight class he always planned to go down to anyway. So I think this is just his first step down to it. So, it's not necessarily that I'm going to be, just a little guy in there compared to him. I'm not worried about that at all. I think when y'all see us standing next to each other, you're not going to feel like I'm smaller than him at all. But, he's a powerful guy. He obviously has a good overhand right. That's pretty much his go-to there. And, you just got to be careful when you're going with the fucking rhino. You just don't stand in front of it, so just gotta work around him.
Yeah, he's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, because you obviously have the reach on him. So his game is most of the time getting on the inside and using those power strikes. He's right. Very aggressive. So I think it's going to be somewhat of a tough fight for him. And I know he knows that. And obviously you've got a good game plan going into it, knowing about, you don't want to fucking chase him down like you did Lieben, like you just said. So,
yeah, I mean, I've heard Josh Burns kind of talk about it too. They train together, the fight's not rocket science. I got 8 inches of reach on him, and he's a shorter, powerful guy. That's what we both know what the other guy's trying to do. It's just who implements that game plan the better way. And, I'm excited about it. I think I've never had any issues with Jay Fish in the past. He's always just kind of pretty quiet dude. He seems like he's mad all the time, but I think he's just quiet. And, but I mean, all the guys that he trains with, I know Josh Burns and them, they're all pretty cool dudes, so, but man, I want to put on a show this next Friday, and I want to have a performance, and not just one that is a win. I want it to be like, I want people to think, who the fuck wants to fight him next? And that's what I plan on doing by the end of the show. And if it's with Jay Fish or whoever else, it's just is what it is.
Yeah, you know that style. The old saying, styles make fights. Jay Fish's last fight, he had to chase his opponent around the ring the whole time because it seemed like he didn't want to fight. That he absolutely is not going to have that problem with you. So you guys are both aggressive, both powerful. It should make for an absolutely entertaining fight. With that said, you guys have a champion in that weight division now. Probably defending that against Lorenzo Hunt in the near future, I would imagine. If they don't make that fight, I don't know what the hell BKFC is doing, because that makes the most sense.
As far as I know, he's next, but Hector's not ready yet, from what I hear.
All right. So with that said, man, do you feel like a win over Jay Fish at BKFC 20 puts you right there in line for, next up for the winner of that Lorenzo Hector fight?
I mean, it possibly could, just depends on how the division shapes up. And I try not to put too much hope into that, because especially right now with the corona and all this shit going on, you don't know who's going to fight next weekend. I'm just waiting for my phone to ring and say that Jay got it. It's just like, just one of them things, and I know that I've got this fight. I'm focusing on it. I've heard people talk about there being, title implications with this fight, but I feel like that's, anybody on a win streak is always, just one fight away from being called up for a title, because like I said, Lorenzo and Hector could get scheduled and one of them get the Rona. And the next thing you know, my phone's ringing. So, it's just always good to stay ready. And I kind of play to fight everybody. I don't necessarily change my style for one guy. I try and change my style to be the most, I guess the most efficient that it can be, no matter who I'm with.
Yeah, I think David Feldman announced recently that Hector was fighting. And I want to say he said, what did he say? October?
He said he had,
or said plans coming.
Yeah, you know how David felt. I mean, we love David Feldman. He brought this great product to us, but sometimes they don't really put out information to the fans, and he likes to say things like, we have something up our sleeve. And that's what he said with Hector. Hector will be fighting soon, and we got something good up our sleeve for the fans. Now, if something up the sleeve is not Lorenzo Hunt, then I can't even imagine what the hell it is. So,
Hector just tried to call out Tyrone Woodley at a fight and about sleeping with his side chick or something.
Yeah. I hope that's not what it is, man.
Me neither.
I'm just over the whole Hector thing, man. I feel like he's just trying to get his prize fights that he can make his money, and he's not really in it to be competitive for the sport, because if he was, he'd be lined up asking for Lorenzo next. He wouldn't be trying to pick fights with Tyrone Woodley and say, this is it, this is next. David, you line it up. I ain't about that life, man. It just
he also called out Jake Paul too. He called out Jake Paul as well.
Really?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Hector did. Hector called out Jake Paul online too. So I'm like, he's calling out everybody but Lorenzo. That's what I'm saying. Like what you were just saying. It's the same thing.
Call Jake Paul too. If they'll let me fight his ass and get paid.
Fuck yeah.
What's up, Jake?
Fight Chad Mendez if you can.
Yeah, I'll fight both of them. I don't care. Pay me a million. Both of them.
Yeah. I think Kyle's off by like a half a second than us.
Oh, am I?
I think just by like a little tiny bit.
All right. I'll lay back.
Yeah. Like Quentin's like, look at this freaking asshole over here. Jesus Christ. I'm just kidding. We bust each other's balls on. That's kind of what we do. But so last time we saw you in Birmingham, and you were with GOAT Combat Agency, and now you're with someone else. Well, what management company you're with?
Hero Management.
So is that run by someone in the family?
Nah, not really.
Are you just doing it all yourself?
I handle a lot of my stuff. I've just got different people that I trust to handle different parts of it. I don't hate the guys at GOAT or anything like that. It just, I'm a particular kind of person, I guess. I have my businesses that I run, I have my things that I do, and I'd rather handle things myself a lot of times. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the fights with, them being busy back and forth, this and that, and stuff getting miscommunicated. I'd rather just deal with it myself and and be done with it on that. And that's kind of just where we split up on that part and all. But we're all still good.
Yeah, they're all good guys over there. I feel like you guys have like a really tight group, so I can't imagine like when I heard that you weren't with them anymore, I just was like, he probably just kind of doing his own thing. I couldn't imagine that you guys would have like a beef and split up, because like everybody just seems like a family unit kind of, when you guys are all out eating and just chilling out. So it is kind of cool to see that.
It's just like I said, things turned out it's just better for me to handle some stuff on my own. And but I mean, like I said, we're still friends and all that, and it's all good. So ain't no big deal. They just got a lot on their plate, which I don't blame them. They've got Arnold Adams and they got Brito. They're both #1 contenders, looking at title shots and stuff like that. And I just decided I was going to focus a little more on myself, and I've put some things to the side so that I had time to handle it. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about your career as much as you are. And when you're expecting other people to care as much as you, that's really kind of unfair to them. And so that's just kind of where I'm at with it. No hard feelings or anything like that. It's just when I get things done, I know they're done. So it ain't no big deal. We're just gonna move on.
Well,
Awesome.
dude, with the way you sound like to me is like we're both, that we're both in the military, dude. You sound like a leader, and like when you're a leader, you want to be out in front, and you want to be like making sure everything is dressed in exactly the way it's supposed to be, or the mission's not going to get done right. And when you're not that guy out in front, it's hard to fucking stay back and keep your mouth shut.
Right.
That's the same with me. Like I've made it to where I am in the military right now because I got a voice, and I feel like things can be done differently, and I voice it, and it has gotten me to the place where I'm at in the military right now. And it seems like with you had something to say, you had a way you want something done, and nothing against anybody else. If it can't get done this way, I'll get it done. You know what I mean? Born leader shit.
I feel like I've spent a lot of my career depending on the wrong people for the very important things that I needed, and they've let me down. And I understand that, people are going to make mistakes, and that's all fine and good, and that and all. But when it's something that means as much to me, that mistake is a bigger deal when it's not my fault, because I'm real big on, personal responsibility or accountability on things like that. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, your situation is your fault. No matter, I call it the reverse butterfly effect. You just go back in time and say, where could I have changed this for these things to end up different, and when you roll through different situations and it wasn't something that you could control and it was out of your hands, that's not something that I can deal with. And so it just that's basically all it was to it. We like I said, it wasn't like any major mistakes or anything like that. It's just no one's going to handle your stuff put it as high as a priority as you are, especially the way I am. Maybe other people they can deal with that. It's just not for me.
Totally understand.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I can totally understand.
Yeah.
What are you walking around at right now, Quentin? You look fucking jacked out of your goddamn mind right now. Where are you at as far as weight cut and size, and you good to go right now?
Yeah, I'm like 208.
208. So you barely got to cut anything.
Yeah, I should be. I should wake up, walk on the scale, and be good.
Wow, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, that must feel really good when you don't have to cut a whole bunch of weight and get super weak before the fight. Like I always watch like these weight cuts. Some people, they have to cut so much weight and they look horrible. And we've seen lots of videos. I mean, I know you've probably done it yourself plenty of times. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but it just is so rough. It looks so rough. And I just can't imagine the percentage that you can get back to. Like, how are you going to get back to 100% when 24 hours before you were about to die? You know what I mean? Like, I know I got a damn headache or some shit and I didn't eat right for a day. And I'm not like a pro athlete, but like, it still affects me the next day. I wake up and I'm like, damn, I still kind of feel like shit from yesterday.
Yeah.
It's, man, I just hate that, to see people really kill themselves to get down. Like now you get to go in a fight and be as close to 100% as you can be. Barring any little bruising or whatever else injuries you might have sustained. But, that's So that must be friggin' a nice weight off your shoulders.
And it is, you know, because I used to do that. I fought everywhere from 170 to heavyweight, and you know, I most of my fights were at 185 in my MMA career, and the last one I had, every time I got hit in the head, it felt like I got a concussion. It was like every shot that hit me, I could kind of hear a ringing, even if it wasn't a solid shot. So, you know, the dehydration factor is just, it's not worth it, you know, because like I said, within 24 hours, yeah, you can put that weight back on, but you haven't fully hydrated your brain, and the fluid around your brain is the most important part of keeping you from having concussions or brain damage. And you know, that kind of scared me a little bit, that last fight that I had when that was happening. And I mean, I got hit in that fight one time, and I honestly thought the fight only lasted 45 seconds until I watched it about a month or two ago, and the fight was like 4 minutes and something. And I lost, obviously, but I mean, I got hit like 3.5 minutes into it, and it erased the whole fight from my head.
Wow.
You know? So it's like, you know, and after that, I mean, before I even knew that had happened, I went 4 years thinking that fight went 45 seconds. I never watched it after it happened. And
Holy shit.
you know, I was actually doing pretty good before that happened, but you know, it's just not worth it for your health. You know, you see these guys that are blacking out in the sauna, and you know, killing their kidneys and stuff like that. And really, all it really boils down to is discipline. Because, you know, I was that guy before where it was like, yeah, I'll eat this slice of pizza. What's one more session in the sauna? You know, I'll just sweat out another pound or whatever. You know, it's just not worth that shit. I feel better at my walking around weight, you know, and a lot of times you see guys that, you know, you're talking about how can you be 100% when you cut weight? Well, usually both guys are doing it. So,
Yeah.
100%, you know.
Yeah, neither.
Not cutting anything, you know. I don't think Chris Lieben really had to cut anything for that fight we had. I think that's pretty much his walk around weight, you know. But you know, it's just healthier. I've found a way with my diet and working out that I stay pretty much around 210 pounds, you know, within 5 or 10 pounds of that, depending on, you know, what I'm doing. I always work out, whether it's, you know, a training camp coming up or whatever. I don't always eat great. You know, like I'll take breaks on my eating, and, you know, I'll get up about, you know, 220 or 225 or something like that. And then I'm like, all right, I got to slow down. My back will start hurting and shit. And,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, you know, and yeah, that's right. You lose skin elasticity. That's super important, being, you know, hydrated so that you're not getting cut up and shit. So, you know, I just found it's a lot easier just to be more disciplined in my day-to-day life than kill myself the day before in the sauna.
Yeah, you ever
Awesome.
hear the Paulo Costa versus Yoel Romero fight? What those guys cut? They said that Paulo cut from 230 to 185, weighed in at 185, and then walked in at 218 the next day. Put on 33 pounds overnight. And Yoel Romero weighed 213. They both weighed 185 the night before. And they both looked like, you know, half of themselves beating the shit out of each other the next night.
But I used
Like,
to weigh in at 185, and I would walk in the cage at 210.
that's just great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's nuts, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it don't feel good. Luckily, most of my fights are ground, you know, but you know, I've had fights where I was in, you know, really good shape and all, and the weight cut just hit just right. You know, towards the end of my career, I was only cutting like 5 to 6 pounds. I'd gotten a lot better about it. And you know, but once I quit, I had retired from MMA pretty much, and then Dave and them called me up to have that first bare knuckle fight. And they were like, yeah, you want to do it at heavyweight? The guy's like 215. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like 220. Let's do this. You know, I was only 3 weeks out from the fight. That's what I was telling him. I was like, there's no way I could get in shape and cut weight. I hadn't trained in 8 months.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I felt good. I didn't have to cut any weight. And, you know, I got to eat lunch before weigh-ins and shit. So it was just like, you know, usually I don't eat 24 hours a day before and all. So, you know, it was the way to go. I think I ate a steak the night before I fought Lieben. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fucking great, because, you know, people are fucking dying sometimes before the night before the fight.
Yeah, man. I mean, during
Wild.
got up to about 240 when we were doing the quarantine stuff. I was supposed to be fighting a heavyweight. People kept talking about me being in a tournament at a heavyweight tournament, you know, and they were throwing my name in there with guys like Sam Shoemaker and, you know, fucking Josh Burns, and these dudes are 260. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I weighed in at 211 for my first fight, and didn't cut nothing. That's just what I weighed that day. And I'm like, shit, I better put some weight on. Oh yeah, and Gabriel Gonzaga, I think he was like 263 or something. And I'm like, well, I'm just a little small for that, So I started putting on weight and bulking up and getting bigger, and I didn't have no abs or anything, but I was slinging a wide body around, and then I just started hurting, man, like my back, my shoulders, my neck, my hips, my knees. It was just every morning I got up, I'd have to soak in a hot tub for about 30 minutes just so I could go about my day. And I was seeing my therapist, my sports therapist guy, and he was like, man, if you lost about 25 pounds, I think 85% of your problems would probably go away. And
Wow.
I was like, real? He's like, yeah. He's like, I just didn't want to tell you that because I know you've been trying to get bigger and all. He's like, well, this shit's killing you. So, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to go back down to 205. So, it worked out because I'd already gotten such a consistent schedule with working out, and then I just changed my diet up with what I was doing. And we just changed gears into, lifting more for range and motion and stuff like that, and leaning up. And we just haven't stopped, man, since the Corona hit. I don't think I've had more than a couple day break since they locked us down on working out. It's just what I do every day now.
Awesome, man. Well, before we let you go, we got a quick 5 questions to ask you. We call it the speed round. We're going to blast these questions off real quick. We got our next guest waiting in the wings to come on. So let's get it done. Question number 1. What is the craziest conspiracy theory that you think is true?
Oh, snap. Craziest conspiracy theory that I think is true. Oh, that's a pretty good one because I got a couple of them. Bohemian Growth.
What was that?
Bohemian Growth.
Bohemian Grove. If anybody needs to know about that, look it up.
Look it up.
I don't know anything about Bohemian Grove, so I'm gonna have to look that shit up.
Alex Jones, check it out.
Intergalactic. Over at Bohemian Grove, we went down there. We saw all these.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
all the elites.
Love it though, man. He's got video of it. He was there.
Yeah, he was. It's real. It's real. It's one of the. Put the coin in the Alex Jones was right jar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Control the world.
Yep. All right. Question.
Right now.
Question number 2, Kyle.
If you had a time machine, where would you go and why?
Time machine. Where would I go and why? I would probably go back to when was a peaceful time when we didn't have technology? Let's say like the early 1920s, like before the Great Depression. That's probably where I would go hang out.
I thought you were gonna say like whatever time frame Dazed and Confused was supposed to be in.
I think that was
time
right there.
Early 70s. Early 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their style was kind of off. I didn't really get that shit. I'm really more like the suit tie kind of thing. They were classy back in the 20s,
I don't know what the 70s. Yeah, the 70s was my favorite. I definitely like the 80s better than the 70s. But back in the day, you can get into all sorts of shit in the 20s. What? Forget it.
Yeah, just hanging out. Everybody was cool. All these phones and stuff, like, man.
All right. Question number 3. What is something that most people think smells bad, but you like it?
Man, I like the smell of a skunk from a distance.
Dude, me too.
Like
that is what Kyle said when we were going over these.
Wild onions. It's weird.
Oh, why do you love this smell, skunk?
It kind of smells like wild onions, kind of.
See, no, Mike was telling me these questions earlier before we went live, and I was like, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I tell my wife this all the time. We'll be like driving by and smell a skunk in the distance. I fucking love that shit because it reminds me of high school.
Not driving
and smoking like that.
That's too much. It's like when you pick up that waft of something like, and you hit it. Yeah.
I thought it smells like really dank weed. That's all.
Get that
Not that I know what that smells like.
No, he doesn't know.
Watching.
Nobody heard that. Nobody heard that. Question number 4, Kyle.
Okay. What armrest do you? What armrest at the movie theater is yours?
Both of them.
He
what I
said the
said,
same
too.
shit right away. He went, both of them.
Both of them. Fuck, they're both mine.
Yeah.
Nice. Number
Number
5. This is not geared towards you at all. If you were a superhero, how would you look? What would your superpower be? And what would your name be?
Man, I always felt like if I was a superhero, I'd probably be Wolverine. I feel like that's me. You know, I got the hair, the build, you know, the rage, you know, it's all in me. I would love to have the healing that he has. I think that's super cool because really, if you think about it, that would be like, you know, every time you work out, you tear muscle fibers, you break it down, and the healing process is what makes you bigger. You get fucking jacked if you like Wolverine, bro. It'd be like,
Yeah.
be huge, live forever, super strong, metal skeleton, which that wasn't natural, but I would definitely want that too. You know, but definitely I would have super strength like a gorilla, and I would be able to heal really fast. That would be my 2 favorite powers. Flying would be cool, but if I could just jump really far, you know, that'd be cool too.
Nice. Awesome. Fantastic.
Love your answers, bro.
I was gonna run your sponsors. I typed them in as we were talking to you earlier, but apparently I didn't hit the save. So you can shout your sponsors out right now. I have the list in front of me. If I'm sure you can probably just rattle them off, though.
Man, Armed Forces Roofing and Construction, Airmid Hemp Extracts, my CBD right here. After I got done working out, then we got Spartan Adventure Park, Traxler Chiropractic. Dr. Traxler's always hooking me up, popping my neck and stuff. He helps sponsors my camp and all that. My Uncle Noel, shout out to Uncle Noel helping out, and Sandra and the rest of them. Man, I've had a couple local people here in town, you know, just and fans really have just sent me some change for my gas money driving back and forth. You know, I drive back and forth like an hour and a half every other day to go train and all. So, man, it's just been a really good supportive time that I've been having, you know.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much tonight for coming on. It was a blast talking to you. We will see you next Friday. We'll be there in Biloxi. So we'll be there. We'll talk to you. Can't wait to see your fight. Good luck on the rest of your training. And hey, take care, man.
Yes, sir. See y'all later. Hero
Later.
out.
Have a good one.
Awesome.
Hey, before we bring our next guest on, Mike, we gotta remind
shout out?
everybody. Yeah, we gotta remind everybody that Planet Hank is the greatest show on the internet. Not this one.
No.
I wanted to put that up there. He made it very clear in the comments that Hank, you are the best.
Goddamn Hank. Yeah.
Goddamn Hank.
I think he's supposed to be at the friggin' in Biloxi too, but he, you know, here's the thing. He's also a Patriots fan, so I think we can forgive him just a tiny bit, maybe, but I don't know. Anyways, without further ado here, we have this gentleman's been waiting patiently. We did go on a few minutes later than expected, but the wait is over. One half of BKFC 20's main event, getting ready to get that strap and get his redemption against Johnny Bedford. It is Reggie Barnett, Mr. Educated Hands. Easy. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing great.
We're doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I am just hanging out, relaxing. I had my last day of training at my home gym today. So just kind of enjoying life, getting some things done around the house and tightening some loose ends before I head out to Mississippi.
Man, I got to tell you, man, Reggie, when I think BKFC, I think there's a few guys that are like the absolute faces of the company. And it is yourself, it is Lorenzo, and Johnny Bedford, the other guy that you're fighting. Like you guys are fighting each other at BKFC 20 for the title, for the vacant title that you called out Dat for at Knucklemania. I know you're disappointed that you didn't get a shot at Dat, but I gotta say, man, no, you're not disappointed at all.
No,
it wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't written like that. So, who is that? Who are you talking about?
Who that?
Yeah. No, but I wanted to say big shout out to you though, because you're at every single event. We see you every single event. You're always in the crowd. You're always working the crowd. You're talking to everybody. You're taking pictures. You're over at the tryouts. You're helping people at the tryouts. Like you're training. It's a good look, and shout out to you for that stuff, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I always say that fighting saved my life, but bare knuckle changed my life. So, what up, Sean? What up, y'all? So I'm just grateful to be able to be a part of the business, the industry, and always make sure that I support in every way, shape, form that I can.
When you say
when I'm not fighting, when I'm not punching people in the face.
Yeah, let's make that clear.
Yeah. When you say that fighting changed your life, I'm glad you said that because I know in a lot of people's life, they run into all sorts of issues. You never know what somebody's going through. You see people every day. You might go, oh, that guy's an asshole, or you know what I mean? They might be having a bad day. You don't know what's going on in that person's life. And I know that I didn't know about your life until you were coming on the show, and I started digging a little bit deeper and watching a lot of your interviews and reading articles and stuff. And I think you have a pretty inspiring story leading up to your BKFC career, your bare knuckle career. And I would just like to hear you talk a little bit about your maybe after, like going through school, right after school, before you started actually fighting and the stuff that you dealt with and how you got through it to where you are today.
I mean, it's a little bit of a long story. I tell people
Right.
If you knew my story, you would root for me. But I mean, if to sum it up, I dealt with my own mental illness. I dealt with my own loss of self as far as not knowing who I was or what I wanted to be in life. And then, running the streets, hanging out with gang members, selling drugs for a little while. And I started drinking and trying to, I guess, suppress all of that shame and guilt I had felt for some of the things that I did and not living up to the expectations of the people around me. And I became a full-blown alcoholic probably by the time I was 18, 19. And I had started drinking early in my teens, my early teens, I think 13, 14. But by the time I was, like I said, 18, I was a full-blown alcoholic and doing things I had absolutely no business doing. I got into some legal trouble. I ended up going to prison. I spent roughly about 3.5, almost 4 years of my life incarcerated. And I was lost. And I got out. My father had built a gym for me, our gym 757 boxing, before I had even got in trouble. But I had to get it. I had to learn the hard way. I kept hitting my head against the brick wall. I did my time, and a lot of people don't know that when I went in front of the judge, I asked for all of my time and some more time because I was tired of the way I was living and the person that I was, and I knew that it was going to take an ultimate sacrifice to change. And so I went in. I studied. I educated not just my mind. I mean, not just my body, but also my mind. I always say while everybody else was pumping iron, I was pumping my mind and I was pumping books and just trying to discover who Reggie really was and what I wanted to do and my purpose in life. And I got out. I turned pro in MMA before I turned pro in anything else, just because I wanted to fight. And I always say I've never really been that good at mixed martial arts, but to me, at the time, it was just the realest form of fighting. I boxed all my life. I finished my amateur boxing career with 108 fights, but it got boring after you do it for so long. Then I turned pro in boxing. I took a couple of fights that I knew I probably wasn't going to win because I just needed to, I won't say in a bad spot. I just needed a little bit more change. And then bare knuckle happened. And the first tryout, I went and I showed my ass. I solidified that I was going to be great in this sport. And the rest is history, But I always say God first. I'm grateful to God that he didn't give up on me in the times that I gave up on myself. And I'm grateful to the people, that really believed in me and loved me and still stayed with me and stuck by me through the hard spots in my life. And now, we see where we're at. And I'm fighting for, everybody's so wrapped up in fighting for the world championship and the belts or whatever. But me, it's a far cry from having to stand in line to take a piss or a shower or sit down on the toilet and take a shit right next to another grown man. So.
Yeah, man. Like Mike said, that's a true inspiration. Like your story is amazing. And like Mike and I both have friends that went in, serve time, and it's pretty much a 50-50 shot. You could get yourself right and do something with yourself when you get out, or you're right fucking back in there. And
before I even went in, had made up my mind, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know that this, I had no idea that this was going to happen, but I had already made up my mind that I was going to go in and I was not going to come out the same person that I went in.
Crazy, awesome, man. That's a great story. Go ahead, Mike.
Susan Walker says you sharing your story will help others, and it absolutely will. And just real quick, not to cut you off here, Susan Walker is actually recovering right now in the hospital watching our show. So I just want to give a quick shout out to her.
Definitely, Susan. I wish you a speedy recovery, and whatever you're going through, just know that it's only temporary, and you can work hard enough at whatever it is, whether it's medical, mental, whatever. It requires a little bit of work, but you'll get to where you want to be. I know, because I've suffered through all of that.
So yeah, I saw her jump in there, so I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Hey, Reggie, you said you had 108 amateur boxing matches, right?
Yeah.
Were those all prior to you being incarcerated, or was that before and after? Like, when were you? When did you have all your amateur fights?
So I started boxing when I was 4. My dad took me to the gym with him, but in Virginia, they wouldn't allow me to actually compete until I was 8. I want to say from the time that I was 8 to about 11, 12-ish, I accumulated my first 70-something fights.
Wow.
And then I started playing baseball. Well, see, here they had tournaments. You could go to a tournament and weigh in on Thursday, and you would fight Friday, Saturday, and if you won, you would fight again on Sunday.
Oh,
my dad was in the Navy. He worked on the submarine, so he'd be gone 6 months, 9 months, and he'd come home. So it was like every other weekend, he would take me to a tournament to compete wherever they would have one. We traveled a lot up and down the East Coast, and I would get the opportunity to. I honestly lost my first 7 boxing matches, and I considered quitting. That's why 7 is my lucky number. I was like, man, maybe my dad's good at this, but maybe this is the sport for me. But I just didn't understand fighting yet. I just went in there and just threw hands. I didn't have no technique, no real skill. And I just went and just punched like a maniac. And I ended up losing a lot of my fights when I first started. And then I started learning the sport. I became a student of the art. And I watched old school tapes, fights from, the early 1900s all the way up to, I want to say what I consider the golden age of boxing, 88 to about 96, when you had Roy Jones Jr., Tito Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya, Sab Judah, those guys. I was a kid when those guys were coming up, and I studied them a lot, and I got better. So I just, and then I switched to MMA at 18 because my father wouldn't allow me to do it. He said, we're boxers. He's always said that, we're boxers. And I switched to MMA. I drove 5 hours to Roanoke, Virginia to get my ass kicked in 30 seconds. I'll never forget that. But I kept fighting at that. I lost my first 3 MMA fights. And then I met my brother, Brandon Pennington. If y'all don't know, Brandon's getting ready to make his BKFC debut on the Omaha card or the card after that in Arizona. We're not really sure which one. But he was.
Who is that?
Brandon the Janitor Pennington. He was at the Belfast tryouts. He went and showed out. He got the call back.
Nice.
It's just a matter of when they match him up. He's going to be joining the league right alongside me. But he taught me how to grapple. I taught him how to box. But also at that point in time, I was in my cups, as I call it. I was an alcoholic. And Brandon watched me struggle, through some of our training sessions, some of my fights. I would show up, absolutely sloshed, reeking of alcohol, and he was really patient with me. He still, stood by my side. Even when I was locked up, he would come see me and ask me for advice. And I thought that was the craziest thing. Like, yo, bro, I'm the one that's sitting behind bars. How are you asking me for life advice? But he always believed and knew that the greatness I had inside of me, and he knew the goals that I was working towards. And I had other people, in my life too, who knew that and just stood there and held their ground with me to help me become a better person. But I loved boxing. I think I had the rest of my fights between the age of 16 to about 18, 19 until I got incarcerated as far as my boxing. And then, like I said, I came home and I hit the ground running. I never knew in a million or thought in a million years that I would be fighting, at the highest capacity in bare knuckle fighting championships. But at the same time, when I was out there running the streets, I was kind of like their little pit bull. They would take me to these backyard fights and they'd be like, hey, all right, we're going to put this on you. And you go in there and you beat this guy up. And I would. And sometimes the reward was money and sometimes the reward was just drink, and I was so far gone that I was okay with that. Now I'm a top level prize fighter. So God has done wonderful things in my life. And I always tell people it is him that, put those people there for me and didn't give up on me in the times that I had absolutely given up on myself. Because there was a point that I lived that I thought I was really going to die. And I didn't have any regard for my life or the lives of other people. So to have that turnaround and to have these opportunities and to have these platforms, I just want to project, my change back into the world as much as I can and hopefully save a couple other lives, even if I'm not directly involved in them, because my life was saved. I'm sorry, guys, I was rambling.
No, we love it.
No,
we love
great.
it. The people watching love it. I'm telling you, this is stuff that when you come on here, and some people already know who you are. Some people big fans of BKFC, they watch it. Some people are maybe just watch here and there and they know who you are, but they don't know your background. And some people don't know who you are at all, but they're going to see this and they're going to hear what you say. And I'm sure you agree with this. Even if one person's watching and they go, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, new day. I'm gonna turn over a new leaf, and that's all it takes, So look, ramble, keep on going. I love it. I was listening to you.
I just it's I can't even explain how just grateful I am to be alive. That's one thing in itself. So to be able to go out there and prepare myself to the best of my ability and go out there and put on for the fans and for the people and for the BKFC is a godsend in itself. And I absolutely love doing it. I'm enjoying this ride, man, for everything that it is. Win, lose, draw, never fight again, whatever. I'm enjoying this ride more than I would have ever enjoyed anything that I was doing out there.
And you know what the thing is, what's crazy too, Reggie, you're a genuine dude and you have this crazy story, but now you're in a sport that is so young. It is crazy to hear this, but you're kind of like a pioneer of the bare knuckle sport. Like when you watch videos of you talking to guys at these tryouts and showing them different techniques in the bare knuckle realm as opposed to actual boxing or MMA, these guys don't quite get some of the nuances of this new sport. But you have kind of perfected those because you've been there since the beginning. You know what I mean? The sport's only been around for 3 years, and you've been there. I
got to make it my own, and I'm still making it my own. And that's what I love about being one of the forerunners of the sport in its infancy, is that we're still, even 3 years in, we're still in the innovative state.
It's amazing. Yeah. I really think that, like, can you, it must be, I just couldn't even fathom being in a position like yourself to you have willed your way to where you're at in your life. And now you're not only looked at as a role model towards people in that sport, but you're looked at as kind of one of the godfathers of this sport, because it's only been around for 3 years, but you've been there for going on 8 fights now. And you've won a lot of them and you've really perfected the sport on your way.
That's what I told my dad when I saw the first, calling for the bare knuckle tryouts and stuff like that. I said, Dad, this is it. I said, this is what I was made for. This is why I was spared. This is why I'm on this earth. I was like, this is it. And he's like, we're boxers. His creed all the time is we're boxers. We're boxers. And I'm like, no. I was like, you taught me how to box, and I am a great boxer. But I was born a fighter. I had to fight through some shit to get to where I'm at. And so I went to that, like I said, I went to that tryout and I showed out. But when that first fight, all I really knew how to use was my boxing and what little bit of MMA, stand up I had. And then, we go back and we reassess, and we're like, no, wait, there are certain rules and stuff that I can use and get better at. And so I have wholeheartedly morphed into a real bare knuckle fighter. And I feel like, my creed is kind of only keep what I have by giving it away. The more that I teach the guys coming up behind me, one, I help this sport grow, I help it expand, and then two, I get better. I see where my mistakes were, the things that I'm doing good at, or the things I'm doing wrong, or the things I can improve on, and it helps me grow as a fighter.
Yeah, it's and like you just said, like you've done everything you can to help grow the sport, and you see what BKFC is doing now. They're about to bring in, they just brought in Chad Mendez. They're about to bring in Diego Sanchez. They got the Rachel Ostoviches and the Paige Van Zandt.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Sorry, I was responding to one comment.
No problem at all. So, but I'm saying, like, the sport started at a ground level. Guys like yourself and Lorenzo, and even like Quentin Henry, who was just on here, you guys are helping the sport grow, but you're bringing in people outside of the sport and it just keeps on growing and growing and growing, man. It's amazing.
I love to see, and I take nothing away from all the other accomplished fighters. Nothing away from their accolades, nothing away from the things that they have accomplished in the other sports that they've done. But I more or less love to see more guys like me, not, the whole struggle or whatnot, but Star's birth of bare knuckle. I take nothing away from Chad Mendez. He's a great fighter. I was watching some of his training videos. He's an absolute powerhouse, but he doesn't know yet that if you come in and try to be that kind of powerhouse the way you're hitting the pads, you're not going to have a very long career in the sport. It's just not possible. I got an opportunity to get some tutelage under a couple of other great bare knuckle underground boxers who gave me some, as we call it, free game, to help me grow in this sport. And I want to see more stars, birth truly of just bare knuckle. And that's even going to help. They bring more eyes to the sport, which is what we always want. I want to see more people to see this sport. I want more people to know that it exists. I was at my sponsors the other day, and I was telling the lady, like, I didn't even tell her about myself. I was just telling her about bare knuckle fighting in itself. And she's like, well, how do you know about this? And I had Josh Furs with me. And he was like, oh, because he's one of the fighters. And I was like, why did you tell her that? Like, wasn't even trying to, big up myself. I was just trying to introduce her to the sport in itself. And so she made me pull up one of the fights. She's like, I want to see one of your fights. They were watching stuff on YouTube. And I was like, well, which fight do you want to watch? She's like, I want to see the one you lost. And I was like, all right, come on, let's play it. Let's run it. So we ran the Bedford fight. And this lady I never met a day in my life, we sat there and we broke down the fight together. And she's like, how often have you watched this? I was like, I've watched it quite a few times. I broke it down myself, but it was nice to have somebody who's never seen this sport before, not knowing anything about it, sit down and break down this fight with me. And she's like, I'm going to tell all my friends about this. She's like, you just gained a whole bunch of new fans. So not only did I get fans for myself, but I got fans for the sport. That's what it's about. Because I'm not going to do this forever. I'm absolutely not going to. There's no way. I'm realistic about it. But my legacy in this sport is going to last into when they're doing BKFC 200. They're going to be like, oh, that move was patented or created by Easy, educated hands. Guys are using this type of clinch because, and so that is just, to think about it like that, man, to know how far I've come, I'm making an impact, not just, in the sport, but on people's lives in general.
I'm glad you said that, because I watched BW Sports 1, Dan Stevens. He had an interview with you, and Kyle and I were talking about it before we got on today. And you got into talking about how, at the gym, you have students there that come in, and there was a student that called you up and you were like, why aren't you coming to the gym anymore? And he said, well, I got to pass this class. And as I was listening to it, I'm driving and you're starting to get me. I'm like, I'm almost, I'm getting teared up a little bit listening to it. So and you help this kid out, and you're like, hey, I don't even know how to do. He needed geometry help, and you're like, I don't even know how to do geometry, but
no,
I'm gonna help
you. I don't. But I was able to, put him in contact with people who were a little, I guess, more adept and skilled to help him. And then also, I was like, you might want to write down some notes and do a little extra studying. The effort that what you get out of something is the effort that you put in it. So not only did they help him, he helped himself a little bit, and I got that message, and it made my day. It absolutely made my. I mean, some other crap happened in the day, and I was just like, I'm about to watch my homie graduate. And I remember what I went through. I failed algebra 2 3 times. 3 times. I had to keep going back, and then that 4th time it just clicked. I don't know why. Maybe it was because I kept doing it over and over again. And I finally graduated. I didn't even get to graduate with the kids I grew up going to school with because I kept failing algebra. But I didn't quit. I kept going back until I finally got it, So I know how he was feeling about not missing not making the mark by one class. I felt that. And I was like, all right, whatever I can do to help him get what he needs to be done. And so that's what I did. I mean, I don't want any kudos or credit for it because it's just me. I just want to see the kids and the people around me accomplish their goals. And for that moment in time, that was his goal. And it was just great to get that message. Oh, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna graduate. And I was like, yes. I didn't even.
Made me feel changed my day. I was riding home from work. Not that I was in a bad mood, but I heard that and it made me feel good. I had nothing to do with the whole thing.
Well, see, and so the reach, the impact goes so much farther than just punching people in the face. Do I love fighting? Absolutely. Was I born to be a fighter? Absolutely. Do I go out there and leave my heart, body, mind, and soul in that squared circle every time? Absolutely. But it's so much bigger than that, And like I said, God first, because without him, I would not freaking be here. And I forgot that mission. If you go back and you look at my previous post when I first started, when that Travis Thompson fight, before the fight and after the fight, I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be there. The Clay Burns fight, I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be there. The beginning of the tournament when Josu Rivera didn't show up, everything went out the window, and I forgot my mission. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I had to get back to that Reggie, to that easy, in order to move forward. And in the Bedford fight, I was so wrapped up in just being a champion, and I forgot that I was already a champion for overcoming so much. And so now I feel great in every aspect. There's nothing that can really move me at all. I'm just gonna go out there and have fun. I was so just wrapped up in I gotta beat this man, I gotta win these belts and blah blah blah, and I forgot that. I just go out there and live life and have fun. I'm still here on this planet in this earth for a reason.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Going out there and just having fun, living for the moment, and putting on for the people.
Yeah, and August 20th, you get to go out there, have fun, put it out there for the people, and you may just walk home with a title around your waist. You know what I mean?
Oh, I will.
So
that is there's no doubt in my mind. Me and Johnny are gonna have a trilogy. It's already written.
I love it.
I've prayed on it. I've dreamt it. I've seen it. I've envisioned it. There's no way he's beating me this time. What happens in the third fight, I do not know. But I know this fight, he is not going to beat me. Come hell or high water, it's just not going to happen. I love and respect the hell out of Johnny Bedford. And you can't not love and respect somebody that put a licking on you. It's just not possible, right? But at the same time, I'm not the same fighter from 2 years ago. I'm not the same person from 2 years ago. I'm not on the same mission from 2 years ago. And my purpose has been found. And when people asked about the whole dat thing and blah, 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 I was like, that was not me that moved him out the way. God moved him, because that's not what I was supposed to be doing. It's not. I was feeding into something that was so far away from my purpose. I was so wrapped up in it. He was like, hey man, you know what? I gotta intervene on this. I gotta move this one forward. And he did. And so here we are. The door has been opened. I'm not focused on the title. I'm focused on going out there and living up to the redemption that my entire life story follows. And everything else is going to be just, it's going to be sweet. It's going to be a testament to all that crap that I had to go through.
Now, just listening to this whole thing, it's just like, how can you not be excited now and get behind it? Like, that's what this whole story and the way that you speak, I feel like it's very motivating, heartwarming, motivational. All these words come to mind. And I'm telling you, you're gonna have all these people like, how could you not root for you? You seem like a very genuine guy. With a good head on your shoulders that you've turned around. I have to respect that,
I can't even explain how just awful of a person that I was at one point in my life. So now I have to be honest so I can be honest with myself so I can grow. If I'm not in the hard spots, then I'll always stay the same. And it took some realization, it took some personal introspective to realize, because some things, especially when you're living a life that is not meant for you, you don't do or have the willingness to do that for yourself. And there are people out there who are out there struggling right now that all you really need to do is just take some real personal introspective. And it's the hardest thing in the world to do. It really is. But once you can do that, you can start moving. You can start growing. And then shit just starts falling into place and moving the way it's supposed to move for you. And I took a step back and I was like, man, I'm feeding into something. I don't even want to go into that anymore. I rose above it, and I didn't even have to punch that man I didn't even have to punch him in his mouth to prove my point. He did for himself.
Yeah, Megan's asking. Megan's saying you need to write a book or a biography. You ever think about writing a book?
I wrote 2 books when I was a kid. When I was still back then a nerd, because I was a good kid for a while. I was a straight A student, captain of the chess club, captain of the debate team, all that stuff. And people just bullied me and berated me and broke me down so bad that I lost myself. My self identity, who I wanted to be, and I started reaching for things in all the wrong places, and it led me down all the wrong roads for a while. So I'm back, and this is me. This is wholeheartedly me. I have to be me. I don't care what anybody says or thinks about it. I'm going to be easy, and I'm going to be Reggie, and I'm going to have fun being that person. You can either accept me how I am or not like me, but I realize that there are 7 billion people on this planet and counting, right? And not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody's going to see eye to eye. Not everybody's going to agree on everything, and that's okay. But as long as we're not trying to tear each other down from what the other person is doing, then you're not in the way. I don't want to get in the way of anybody. Johnny is in my way, though. He is specifically in my way. So I have to move you. I have now I have no choice but to move you. If they would have put somebody else in there, then they would have been in my way, and I would have had to move them. That's just it.
Well,
awesome.
The whole story is awesome. It's very Eric Williams said, I want to hear his whole story one day. And maybe one day you come out with that biography beginning to end, but maybe you're still writing the story right now. So book will be written.
It's not done being written. It's not, because there's still so many people out there who I won't say, because it's not about me, but there's still so many more people out there who need to have that extra emphasis, who need to see and hear what I've gone through for them, not for me, but for them, so they can change. We call it, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with Heath Ledger, A Knight's Tale. I stole it from there. I changed my stars. Hard work, sacrifice, and dedication every day. Every day. Because not every day is easy. My ring name is a conundrum. I don't want shit easy. I don't want to do anything easy. I don't want easy fights. Give it to me the hard way, and I'm going to push it. Because when I was out there as a dope boy, I wanted the easy money. I wanted the fast money. I wanted, the nice things and all that stuff. And all of it came and it went. So anything I get now, I'm cool with earning it the hard way. It makes it mean so much more when you know you really worked for it instead of just skated by to get it.
I love
Yeah,
it, man.
Awesome. So everything has been.
I'm sorry,
this has
guys.
been a great.
I didn't mean
No,
to handicap y'all or
Right.
handcuff y'all show. So.
No, you're not.
Absolutely not.
We roll with the punches here. You know,
Hey.
no pun intended. But you know what I'm saying? We
shooting
just
it back at me. I love it.
No, we do. You know, we're here for the story. You know, if something comes up, man, we're going with it. That's what this is all about. Conversation, wherever it brings us, that's where we're going. So that's what this is all about. Getting to know the fighters and who they are as people outside the ring. So I think it's been fantastic. And before I get to the speed round, Kyle, did you have something you wanted to say real quick or?
No, absolutely not. I mean, like everything. I think. Do not ever feel like you hijack the show because you have such an inspirational story. You could talk about it, and you have a great big fight coming up on August 20th. So you know what I mean. You had all the time in the world, but we need to do a speed round so we can ask you some questions that don't have anything to do with any of that shit. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Go ahead,
The
Mike.
speed round coming at you. Question number 1. What movie can you watch over and over again without getting sick of it?
The Fan.
Which one? The Fan?
The Fan. It's called The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes. Hell yeah, the baseball one.
I love that movie. At the time in my life when I was playing baseball is when that movie came out, and I just love the amount of undying love that Wesley Snipes had for his father. I mean, for his son. You know, that just, you know, like it didn't even my whole career. I would give up any and everything for my child, and that's how I feel about my children. I would if I had to. Somebody said, "Look, we're taking your kids if you don't stop fighting, and it is what it is. Give me my babies. I'm cool with it, you know." So, but I just for some reason I love that movie, and that resonated with me my entire life, and so that's why I go so hard for my baby.
It's a good one. It's a forgotten De Niro movie that people need to remember. Yeah. That's a good one.
And De Niro played a great bad guy. He played very rarely, but he played a great bad guy.
Yeah, he's a great bad guy. What is the most expensive thing you've ever broken, Reggie?
I crashed my dad's truck.
Like totaled it?
Oh man. I was drunk. I was leaving a party, and I got in the truck. And rather than putting it in reverse, I put it in drive, and I crashed right into the back of a van, and I pushed the van right through the front of the house.
Oh,
damn! Okay, so even more damage after that.
So you broke a truck and a house.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad I can look back at that and laugh. I'm sorry, Dad.
You broke a truck, a van, and a house. That's amazing.
Yeah, all in one whammy, you know. So,
all right.
Don't drink and drive, y'all. Don't drink and drive.
What song annoys the hell out of you?
Oh my goodness. My daughter used to sing it all the time. That song by that female band. Oh man, I can't even think of it.
Audra Cummings, I can see her in the green room, and I think she's doing Baby Shark. I don't know if that's what she's saying yes, that's what she's doing. Baby Shark, do 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 do. Hey, listen, I went to Baby Shark live with my kid. I'm telling you, it's super annoying.
Baby Shark doesn't really annoy me.
Oh man.
You know, our last deployment, Mike, that song was in 2012-13. We were on that deployment, and it was the Carly Jepsen song. Hey,
Call Me Maybe.
That's it.
Call Me Maybe.
Call Me Maybe.
Yes, that is it. Yo, get out of my mind, bro. Carly Jepsen, Call Me Baby, or whatever it is.
So funny.
Yeah, get out of my mind. My daughter's standing over here singing it now. Go sit your butt down. Don't look down and got her started. Go sit down. Oh man!
We just ruined
your out of my head. Get out of my head, and you better not sing that again.
All right, Reggie. What is the funniest joke you know by heart?
I don't really know. I don't have a funniest joke I know by heart.
What maybe like a dad joke.
Yeah, dad joke. I'll tell you one right now. This is one that my 6-year-old tells everybody. How do you say How do you say constipation in German? Far from pooping.
That is just stupid. That is just so stupid.
It's a dead.
I will say I mess with my daughter all the time, and we have I do savage dad jokes, and she absolutely hates them. So,
Yeah, it's great, man.
it'll just be something simple, and I'll be like #savage dad. she hates it. So I guess that'll be my answer for that one.
Last one.
All right.
Mike.
Number 5. What did you think was gonna be amazing, but it turned out to be horrible?
The sequel to Scream.
Nice.
Sequel to Scream.
It's funny because you went the movie route, and so did Kyle when we were talking about this earlier. He went the movie route. I was thinking about something I was anticipating, going to, and then went to it and was like, wow, it sucked so bad. But I couldn't really think of anything off the top of my head.
No, I remember.
Oh, I know.
The first Scream was absolutely great to me when I was, coming up, and then they came out with the sequel, and I was like, yo, who made this trash?
Well, so Kyle said, what did you say, Kyle?
I said, and you know what? It's funny. It's because I didn't necessarily hate either one of those movies, but Batman versus Superman and the Justice League, both of those movies, they weren't horrible, but I thought they were going to be the fucking best thing I've ever seen in my life. And then I went into the theater, seen them, and I was like, they're all right. You know what I mean?
Nah, I was just utterly disappointed. When they made the sequel, I was like, y'all could have just left it alone at that point.
Yeah.
He took away from the first movie wholeheartedly.
So it's been a pleasure getting to hear
guys, thank you guys so much
story.
for let me share a little bit of myself, a little bit of my story. Hopefully, anybody out there, if you're going through something, if you're struggling, no matter whether it's mental health, addiction, loss of identity, anything that you're going through. One, reach out to God, because if you're on this earth, there's a purpose for you. You're here for a reason. And then 2, reach out for help and the people around you. Open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's the hardest thing to do for.
So
Reggie.
Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, you're the things you say. They're gonna go. They go far. I'm telling you. You have a way of talking and saying things, and with your story to back it up. People, you could. I'm telling you, you're changing lives. You really are. So I'm telling you, I just love it. I don't know if I'm puffing you up too much or whatever, but I just love it. I think you a great story, man.
You made me a little teary-eyed, man.
It's
doing
cool.
that it will be better than I'm gonna beat Johnny next week. There's no doubt in my mind, but
I'm running
having an impact and saving some lives is more better than any. I'm already a champion. I say it.
Yep.
Champions back in the day didn't walk around with belts around their waist or straps, as we call them, or holding up trophies or whatever. The people knew they were champions by what they did for the people.
All right.
Now they touch people.
Great words, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Go ahead. Hey, dude, before you go ahead, shout out any sponsors, shout out anybody you want to go.
Oh my goodness.
And then
so we have 16 sponsors. So I'm not going to ramble all of them off. It's going to take me forever. I want to do, of course, the ones I have coming up in Biloxi. Val Sports Bar and Grill. We're having a meet and greet 8 p.m. So if you're going to be there for the fights, if you're down in Biloxi, please come out and hang out with the People's Champ for a little while before I go dark. I definitely want to give a shout out to the Pro Hockey Association in Biloxi for having my back and supporting me. We got J&K style. I mean, we can name them all off, or we can do this the easy way. You can go to my website, educatedhands.co, and it has links to every single one of my sponsors, and it has links to all of their services and discounts included for all of their services. Again, that's educatedhands.co. And then we also have the Educated Hands University. So any of you young bare knuckle fighters, all the basics, everything that I came into this game with originally and expounded on, the university is there. You can sign up, become a member, and start putting some tools. And I call it my utility belt. I got a tool belt got plenty of stuff on it, and I can spin it and use it anytime I want. If we go across the bottom, Joiner's Driver Improvement, Shore Constructions, Million.co, Cryo Spa, Gordon's Customs, 7x7 Boxing, K Style Grill, Damned Wear Apparel, Bare Knuckle Freak, Ginger Hales, Travis Lee Institute. We just gonna keep it, let it roll. My teammates over at Grindstone Athletics, Kevin St. Clair at freeboatbook.com, My House Sports Gear. We're getting them all. The JKD process, and definitely, I'm still the USBU champion. I am the champion in Layton. As long as I continue to compete in bare knuckle, they will not strip me of my boxing title. The Lower Bill Company and Match Bout. I think I got all of them. If I forgot any of you, like I said, go to my website, educatedhands.co, and you can find everything about Reggie Barnett Jr. in one easy place. Guys, thank you so much for having me on. This has been absolutely awesome. Y'all have, made my night. Hopefully that we can, continue to save and change lives. I'm starting my own Educated Hands and Minds Foundation to give back to my community a little bit more. But right now the focus is me and Johnny Bedford next Friday, BKFC 20, all the way, we say, from prison to pay-per-view. Now we just fighting on an app, but it's absolutely okay. Make sure you download that BKTV app. It's going down. Kyle, Mike, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Hey, you have a great night. We'll see you in Biloxi. All right, Reggie?
I'll see you guys in Biloxi. Hey, we got to link up. I'll bring y'all some headbands.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All
All right, guys.
Take care.
Be blessed.
Hey.
Dude, what an awesome guy, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? And he's unbelievably fucking inspirational, like we talked about. He's a G, and we could have talked to him all night. But
Yeah.
we got a gangster in the green room that was nice enough to keep hanging around.
Yeah, she's here.
Listen, I know she's inspired by Reggie, so that's why she's sticking around and waiting to talk to us. It has nothing to do with how good we look or how cool we are.
No way.
Nothing.
All right,
Bring
so who's our
Audra
next
in.
guest?
Audra
Cummings.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh shit! What's
I
going
don't
on?
follow that. Everyone's all inspired now. You've got this great story, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, what the fuck, Audra? Don't sell yourself short.
You know what? We just got to go straight into how I grew up in the trailer park and was a foster mom for 10 years. Let's just go straight into it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Foster mom Audra turned bare knuckle fighter, making her debut August 20th. I feel like I talked to you, 6-7 years ago, but
right.
It was once again it was like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been forever. And when you're already waiting and anticipating and hoping and praying, and is this going to happen? And should I drink this weekend? Should I go ahead and weight cut? Let's just have a drink. They haven't called yet. And then you have people messaging, when you going to fight? When you going to fight? When you going to fight? I'm like, dude, when I know, you'll know. But like, I'm already thinking about it all the time. So then the messages come through and it just like compounded it, But here we are.
Audra, what was the holdup? What took so long? Like when was the tryouts that you went to in Florida? How long ago was that?
Wasn't that January? Like
January.
Yeah, it was January.
So 9 months ago. Why did it take, or 8.5 months, whatever? Why did it take so long?
A couple different reasons. First of all, nobody knows who I am. I've never had a fight before. They wanted to carefully select an opponent for me. I can completely appreciate that. When Crystal came along, they've been teasing it. There was all kinds of teasers for me, Crystal and I to fight since she signed. So I knew that would eventually happen. And then it was location. I'm from Tampa and I live in Mississippi. So then BKFC was like, well, you could, we know you have friends and family in both places. So it'll be either one of those places. And then Tampa was coming up and I was like, here comes Tampa. And then it was nothing, crickets. And then this came up and it kind of happened kind of crazy. Like it was on Facebook and Brad Kelly, you guys know Machine Gun Kelly, my strike coach, my BFF, all that. He made a comment on a GOAT combat post or something, and then Go Combat Agency messaged him back and was like, hey, where you been and what's Audra doing? And then all of a sudden I got a message, hey, you want to maybe think about working with us and let us go ahead and get this fight set up? And it just in an instant like that, just comments on Facebook led to getting it done.
So
Yeah.
are you saying that before Go you were representing yourself? Is that what you're doing?
I was. Yeah,
You
I was
were?
representing
Okay.
myself. I was managing Brad solely, and then and you know the fight world in any world, but the fight world can be kind of toxic, and opinions and comments and social media can get a little grungy from time to time. So Brad and I both just sort of took a break from all of it. We kind of took a break from the gym. We took a break from social media. We took a break from all of it. And then here we are. We pop back online a little bit. Brad starts popping back online, making a comment, and it all just sort of flowed together. And they took over and mentioned it, I guess, to Nate and David Feldman, and it just happened. So I probably could have pushed it a little harder on my own, but I wasn't really in the headspace to do that. So I think the stars just sort of aligned.
Yeah, it's super cool that here you are. You're back here. We talked to you. We talked to Crystal before both of you were really signed or knew who you were fighting or knew if you would even fight. Like, who knows? And now here we are today, 1 week out from BKFC 20, and you're on the card. You have a picture. I mean, come on now. It's like living a dream here. Like you've.
I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. I got nervous because my contract got held up for a really long time. Rightfully so. No animosity or anger here. But it was like, it came from David Feldman. If you want this, you can have it. I'm going to work it out. We got this. But the state of Mississippi kind of made a new decision that you need to be a pro fighter and have a certain amount of bouts before they'll let you approve for a bare knuckle fight. And so then it was like, but you were going to let me do it in March. There have been a lot of hurdles. And so I just prayed one day. I was like, you know what, God? I did the tryouts. They told me yes. You scheduled that. And I thought it was the door opening. You slammed that door shut. Here we are again. If you're slamming the door shut, I'm listening. I love you. I don't want a life without you. I'll walk away. You know, it'll be fine. And then the day I prayed it was the day I got a call that said, hey, David Feldman said he's got it worked out. So we're good to go.
No way.
Yeah.
It's crazy how shit like that works out, you know?
Totally, yeah.
I mean, how is your family about it? How are your kids as excited as you are to see their mom get in the ring?
Super excited. Stoked. Ready to go. Yep. My 8-year-old, my little blondie, who's my little mini-me, I asked her, I said, Cody, you think I can do this, baby? She goes, yeah, you can do this. And she goes, I have some advice for you. And I was like, what is it? She goes, you know how it's really hard to open a jar and you get really mad and you just get so upset and you just go, ugh, and you pop the lid off? I'm like, yeah. She goes, that's the emotion I want you to feel, but I want you to save it for the right time. And I was like, okay.
Is your daughter telling you to twist Crystal's head off like a pickle jar?
I'm not saying that. She's just saying harness that same emotion.
I know. You got an aggressive kid there. Now, going into a fight against it's got to be so weird for both you and Crystal, because you don't have any footage or anything to study. You don't have a record. She don't have any footage or anything for you to study. No record. Like, what do you know about Crystal? Do you know if she's a righty or a lefty? Do you know her height and reach, or do you know any of that shit?
I did ask what her height was, just out of curiosity. You know, I mean, that's
just hit her up on Messenger.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So but I didn't get many details, and I've seen a few things here and there. She's got, you know, even on the Bare Knuckle podcast, they posted, you know, her little collage video and whatnot. So I have just as much as anybody else does. Her trainer and her fiance, you know, is a fighter, and he looks very aggressive. He looks like a brawler, in my opinion. Just one fight that I've watched online. I haven't studied thoroughly. You know, and I just really think and she's got an aggressive look, you know.
Rugged, would you call it rugged look? Like a rugged beauty look?
definitely rugged beauty. She's got a very cool look. I love her look. She's beautiful. She's got the cool hair and tattoos and all the stuff.
You guys are both moms. She's a mom as well. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Couple of moms making their debut at BKFC
Yeah.
20. Super
Yeah.
cool, man.
A mom fight club.
It's really funny that like you two don't have a record that anybody knows about. Like nobody really knows you yet. This is such an anticipated debut for both of you guys. Like everyone's like, where the hell is Audra Cummings? Where the hell is Crystal Pittman? Why the hell aren't either one of these two fighting for all these months? And then boom, all of a sudden here we go. We get to see both of you in the same ring at the same time. So pretty
I'm excited.
awesome.
She looks super fierce. She looks super aggressive in her cool training videos. And I'm excited for the challenge. What I've been telling, my coaches and everything, they're like, are you nervous? Are you nervous? My teammates, are you nervous? And I'm like, you know what? There's only two things to be nervous about, in my opinion, really, or a couple things, but two of them don't bother me. Getting hurt, I'm not scared about that. Losing, I'm not scared about that. It can only be one of us. You know what I mean? And anything can happen in the ring. Everyone has a plan to get hit, right? And so I'm not scared of that. So that doesn't make me nervous. I'm really, really excited. And, I've been training for a long time. I'm tightening up all over the place. I'm really feeling good. My cardio is good. My weight cut's good. My mental's good. I don't want to get out there and like slip or bust my ass or something stupid. That's like my biggest fear, is just looking like an asshole. Like
just
if I lose or something crazy happens, I just want to look good doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't want to go out there and look like you don't belong there. Right.
Right.
That's
right.
like it's got to be a fear in most fighters, like mental state is just don't to look like you don't belong. To go out there and lose is fine, but and if you go out there and you put out a performance that fucking blows everybody away, and you're like, man, that girl deserves to be out there. That's fucking unbelievable. But if you go out, go out and lay an egg.
Either way, there's gonna be chitter chatter, blah, 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 whatever. I don't give a rip. Everyone's entitled to talk their talk. That also does not bother me because, by the way, I'm like the oldest bare knuckle female fighter. I gotta have like a little maturity to me, right? Hey, Brad, I think that's him.
Yeah,
that is. He
that
says,
is who
hey,
it is.
RDK. And then Megan says, coming out on stage,
yes,
tripping
Megan.
over your own feet. You don't want to do that. Yeah.
No. But if it happens, it happens. But I really think she and I are gonna have our heads in the game. I don't want to speak for her, but I think we're both going to be focused. I think we're both going to have our own sense of just fierce, and if she's anything like me, I would love to put on a great show. No matter what the outcome, I would just love to have fucking fun and just put on a show and just see what happens. And,
I know.
I can't wait. We're going to be there live and in living color.
Cool.
And I cannot wait for it.
Yeah.
And Audra, this fight's at 125. Is that what?
Yes.
Is that 125?
Yeah.
Is that close to walk around weight for you, or do you have to cut a bit to get to 125?
Hey, Monica! Oh my gosh! Hey, Monica! That's my girl. That's Britton's mom.
Yeah. How about that? Look at what you got. And she's rooting for you. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, she and I are so close. I love Monica so much. We talk regularly. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. Okay, so pre-quarantine, I fluctuated between 125 and 130, and that's when I was really heavy into fight camps for other fighters and doing all their strength and conditioning and their weight cut. And some of them hired me to do their meal prep and all that kind of stuff. And I was always in it with them. and I would do the hot tub method with them. I was like side by side. Nobody told me to do that or asked me to do that. I just enjoyed the process, getting to know how to do it, getting in the mind of my fighter. I feel like a really good coach for this particular sport really gets in there with them, has to know how they feel, why they're feeling this way, why this workout did or didn't work. We did a lot of metabolic conditioning. I was right there with them. The 1 or 2 days I didn't work out with them, it was like, well, you're not doing it with us, and they would back talk, and we'd just get in like a fight right there. So I was staying at 125 to 130, quarantine, no gym training, no fights, no fighters to train, 4 kids at home, day drinking. I started walking around at 45. So I've been a solid 45 for a while, but my weight cut's on point right now. It's perfection.
So 125 is the spot for you.
Yeah, that's my. Yeah.
125 is like the spot for everyone, though. That's the hot division. That's where all the killers are at. And if you want to make your name in the sport, like, you really don't have any other choices besides 125. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing tales of a 15 division, 115.
Would you ever want to go all the way down there?
That's what I would originally want to do. Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm walking around at 25, I would. On one of my last weight cuts before quarantine, I hit 118, and I still had 3 days to go till like the fight, and so I could have totally cut 3 pounds of water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we
the
actually.
The skinnier I get, the more it looks like I have like a giant Adam's apple. I start looking like a prepubescent boy.
No, me and Mike actually just talked about the 115-pound BKFC starting to like really build up a stock of fighters that they could easily build a 115 with like Delaney and Jenny Savage and Cassie Robb and Maia and like yourself and Britton and Taylor. Those girls can all make 115, so they could easily throw a 115 tournament up there and make something out of that for sure. So
right,
can't wait
they've got momentum going in their careers too, most of the people that you just mentioned. And if I get to that point and I've got momentum going, that would be, I wouldn't call it easy per se, but okay, I got to fight, it's 8 weeks away, 10 weeks away, it's in 3 months, whatever, got it, done it, know how to do it again.
I can't even imagine what this like your mindset going into this bare knuckle fight. Like, hey, here we go. I'm going out here. I'm about to punch someone else in the face until somebody falls. Like it's wild. It's a wild life you're living here.
Hey, we're athletes. I like to think of it as, I don't know how the common public look at it. A lot of my my sweet friends. I don't want you to do this. This is so scary. Da, 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 da. My mom does not support it at all. When I sent her my poster with Crystal, she just sent back crying face emojis.
Check this out. What's your walkout music going to be? It's funny that Eric asked this question because
I know it. I can tell you who it's going to be by.
Mr. Is it going to be Mr. Cube?
It's going to be Ice Cube. It's got to be Ice Cube.
I did go through all my favorite Ice Cube songs, and I didn't have one that I wanted for this type of. He hits me in other ways for other things. Okay, so I was thinking, you know what? I'm 41. I'm not going to pick something new age, whatever. I got to stick with my era. I got to stick with what was popping back, 98, 2002-ish, whatever. And something that's going to get the crowd crunk good. Yes. It doesn't necessarily have a lot of meaning about the fight or fight world or whatever, but when it comes on, everyone's going to be like, oh, okay. I promise you.
So it's a secret. Is this a secret?
I wanted to build,
You got a dance made up for it or what?
Nah. If the spirit moves me, I will move. If the spirit hits, we'll get it done. We'll pump up the crowd.
No flower petals, rose petals can be thrown out for you while you're walking out or anything like that.
No, and I couldn't find any fly girls last minute. And,
shit.
I was thinking natural born killers, man. Natural born killers.
That,
Ice Cube and Dr. Come on now.
But a lot of this is for the crowd, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't get that deep into that particular artist. You know what I mean? They want something to get them that they can feel. I know when I'm in the audience, if a fighter comes on with something crunk, a jam from the day or whatever, something I'm into, that makes me so much more excited to pay attention to that person, to that fight, I can give more energy. They could, Amy.
Listen, okay. Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl, and she ain't got shit on me. All right.
Yeah. Man, and Mike earlier was saying, I can't believe where your mind would be at. You're about to go fight someone with bare knuckles. This girl, Mike, obviously you forgot she was about to be in a gang war in a fucking park somewhere.
That's right. With a dude.
You know what I mean? They were a turf war
over
like where they're doing
yoga mats
yoga.
And shit.
Motherfuckers don't even step to my yoga mat.
Yoga stepping.
Update. I won. They don't even come around anymore. Homegirl took over. I made my presence known. I brought the big speaker. They had their little speaker and their little, and I brought the heat with the workouts, and they were over there just doing jumping jacks, and we were doing cool stuff, loud music. That they are gone.
That war is over.
Good.
So you won that one. Now it's time to go win another one on August 20th. That's what I'm saying. That's awesome, Audra.
Yeah.
Fuck them and their yoga mats and
That's
little
right.
bitch ass.
Right.
Wrap a friggin' yoga mat around that guy's head. Fucking rolling down a hill.
Calling the cops on me. I live here. Those are my cops.
Brought that smoke with the yoga.
Yeah.
That's right, Eric. That's funny.
Yeah, Megan says you'd be so much fun to hang out with. I have
Megan
a feeling
gonna be
you're right.
There? We can hang out. We can do it.
I will get her to one of those. I happen to
eventually.
know her because she is my sister, by the way.
What's up, Megan? Yeah, she was on last time. She's so supportive. Look how much she loves you showing up to these things.
I know, right?
Yeah. She could hate her big brother, but she supports me. You're right. Shout out to Megan.
Yeah,
she's my older. She's my older sister.
She chimed in last time when I was up here. She was so cool.
I'm just joking. She's fucking younger than me. I just fuck with her.
Oh.
She has 19 kids.
Oh, okay. So we can get along. We'll throw our kids in a room.
Yeah. No. Man. So next week when we get down to Biloxi, we're gonna have to do a little in-person interview with you.
Sure.
What do you say about that?
That sounds great. I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
We've got some plans.
Yeah.
I made plans without even asking you.
All right. I'm going with the flow. I have all these anytime.
I always want to do all sorts of shit. When we're on these trips, I'm like, Kyle, I got to get this angle. I got to do this. I got to go over here. We got to record this. And then I remember, it's just me and him.
So Audra, two shows ago, me and Mike go down there. We have all these plans. We did a lot. We did push out like a bunch of videos from it, but we're like 6:30 in the morning is when our day ended on the night of the event. The night before that, it ended at 3:30. The night before that, it ended at 3:30. So we're like, we go to the next one down in Hollywood, California, and Mike and I are like, we can't pull that shit no more, man. We're gonna fucking call it.
No way.
Soon as the event's over,
I gotta get to editing shit,
Yeah.
7:30, Audra. 7:30.
7:30. Yeah, we went in an hour later than the last time. I said, how the hell were we supposed to come in earlier? And we ended up later. Which it was 7:30 in the morning, you go to sleep, and then we woke up at like 10:30. So
it just sweeps you away. I mean,
it does.
Sweeping,
It ruined my whole week after that. I was fucking done.
So
like 8 days to recover.
What I'm saying is, down in Biloxi, we'll see you at 8:30 in the morning. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll be having my coffee and getting ready.
Nah, man, it'll be a good time down there. We can't wait to see you guys. We can't wait to see this
Mhm.
fight. It's going to be unbelievable. Yeah. You want to shout anybody out before we do some speed roundage?
Yeah, I got all my girl down in St. Pete Med and Wellness Spa. You have to see my girls there. Especially when you're coming into your prime, such as myself, they are the fountain of youth. And then look, here's my shirt.
I got him at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. So
For
I got people there, and I got my shirts here. I got Gatwood, Holmes. They are such huge supporters of both me and Brad Kelly. They're so awesome. They're huge fight fans. They go to all the local fights. They always sponsor us every chance they get. Well, Brad, this is my first time. And then Women of the Carolinas Fight League. They were so amazing to me back in March. They reached out and they said, "Hey, we want to sponsor you. We want to sponsor your fight outfit." So they work with Just Heart Apparel, and they sent me my fight outfit like way back then. So I still have it. That's what I'm going to wear now. They're an incredible nonprofit organization. And then Sparrow Ink Design created my little logo, my Fight Like a Mother logo. She donated it to me. Emily Nabry, she's really great. And then my coach in Australia, Luke Hobbs, Caustic Boxing, hardest training you will ever do in your life. And if you're in the know, you know who Luke Hobbs is.
I do.
So only strong
I
will
gotta tell you,
survive.
I watched some of those, and then at first, because I'm a giant, I'm a huge meathead, and I was always a gym rat, so I was always like a lifter. And then I see him doing like weird ass one leg push ups and like this one hand. And I at first, like a fucking true meathead, I'm like, what is this asshole doing? And then I'm like, God damn, that looks really fucking hard. I'm not doing that shit, man.
His training, or the training, he's the way the Caustics train, it's ancient, and really the mindset behind it, the way that he described it to me, and I've experienced it. It was so cool. Instead of training all of your body parts in groupings, you train them all together to connect to the chain within your body. And it makes you so much stronger and more capable and just everything. And so anyway, there's so much to tell you about it. But anyway, so one time I was doing my sit-ups. They're completely different. There's only 6 moves that we work on. And when I was doing my sit-ups, completely different from any sit-up you've ever done in your life, I didn't feel it in my abs. He goes, "Are your abs getting sore? Your abs getting sore?" I was like, "No, my quads are getting sore." As I go to sit up, I could feel my quads pulling me up and they were getting sore. He goes, "Good, your chain's connecting them." Because when you think you're working your abs, the other part of your body helps pull you up. And now you have this whole new push-pull system. And it's mind-blowing.
Wow.
But it's hard. It's painful. If you ever see anybody bragging about doing more than 6 of these push-ups, they're liars. Maybe 10. I might believe 10 or 12, depending on how long you've been doing it. But really, the numbers are low. Some days we'll train 45 minutes, and I'll get 4 squats in, and it will take almost the whole time.
It seems extremely concentrated, right? That's what would you describe it like that? Like concentrate. I watched some of those squat videos, and it's like, to do 1 rep, it takes 4 friggin' minutes for the rep to go through, and I'm like,
right,
yeah, and you're including your breathing work with it, yeah.
I'm watching it on my phone, and I'm like, my legs are starting to burn watching this guy do this shit, man. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, your squat strengthens your knees, actually. So you put your squat into your knees, which is what we avoid in traditional. We want to put it all on our glutes and hammies and whatever. So he says a strong leg won't have the definition, the big thigh, the little knee, and then come out like this. It'll just be a trunk. So he works on expanding your knee out so it matches the width of the rest of your leg, and you have these really strong knees. But I'm like, Luke, I have to keep some aesthetics, okay, because I'm not working with a whole lot here yet.
You don't want to be a tree trunk, Mom.
No, I can't walk around with those legs. But I gotta have something.
All right.
That's awesome.
Now this brings us to the next segment of the show,
All right.
which is everyone's favorite, the speed round.
Let's do it.
And we got some
Let's
good
get
ones
it.
for you.
I can't wait to
should,
hear some of your answers.
Yeah, it should bring up some good.
When you asked Reggie's, I was like, I don't know how I would answer that. Like,
Yeah. There should be some good conversation over this.
These are they're different for you. Go ahead, Mike.
Number 1. What are 3 different things that you can buy at the store that will make the cashier give you weird looks?
Are they things I'd buy or things I could buy?
Anything. It could be 3 completely random items, one at a time. I don't know. Like if I went and bought, Kyle, what did you say today? A wiffle ball bat?
I said a wiffle ball bat. I said a wiffle ball bat, warming lube, and needle nose pliers.
And needle nose pliers.
Okay, so what I have to tell you is that I live in a really small town, and I'm at our Walmart 4 times a week, almost on some weeks. They know me.
I shop at Target. Not bragging.
Well, Target is like all the way in Hattiesburg. Okay, us pedal people love our Walmart. Very clean, quaint. You know, everyone.
I stole that from Bill Burr, by the way.
Oh. What did I buy? Oh, so one time I bought a thermometer. I bought one of those, thermometer, Vaseline at the same time, but it was for things. It wasn't for anything weird. We buy a thermometer, Vaseline, and then like a pack of like celery, and they're just like, good to see you today. You still running boot camps? You know?
Oh, well, we got some, Joe Ivy in the comments says cucumbers, condoms, and smokes. Megan says shovel, duct tape, and cement.
That's a great, I would just go to Home Depot for that one, right? Like, that's a great one, though.
Oh, man. Yeah, you know, I said another one. I was like, what did I say, Mike? Like a shovel, grass seed,
remember the first thing
lime, or
that you
something like
said.
that. I don't remember. But it's fucking, that's a great answer, though. Celery, Vaseline, and a thermometer. Is cereal soup, is hot dog a sandwich?
Cereal is cereal. Cereal is typically sweet with milk. Soup is typically savory. And it's usually, unless you put all your little, it could be pureed. Cereal's not pureed. Cereal's cereal. Believe me. With 4 kids and 4 different taste buds and different meal preps, we keep cereal.
Is cereal chowder?
No chowder.
Chowder's a soup.
And is hot dog a sandwich? I never heard it called a sandwich before. Sandwich
right. It's meat
bread.
between bread, right?
It is, but it's like but it's a different shape. It's a cylindrical shape versus a.
But what about a sub or a grinder?
No, but she's a mom. She's a mom. You're a dad, Mike. You mean to tell me that you never ran out of hot dog buns and had to cut a hot dog the long way?
I just wrap.
No. Lay 4 halves of a hot dog across one piece of bread and make a.
No, you just wrap the bread around it. No, cut nothing.
You don't cut shit. The bread around it, but then they don't want
the bread around and you just eat it. I don't cut shit.
No,
so let me tell you my trailer park story, though.
Oh boy!
When we lived in the trailer park, it's a true story. My mom is a wonderful mom, and she did a great job. And I hope she doesn't kill me for telling this story. But we had some hard times, and a staple in our house was Vienna sausages, and we put those things between some white bread with some mustard.
You didn't eat them with a little fork? You didn't eat them with like a little 3-prong tiny fork?
That's fancy. Who in the trailer park has a little tiny 3-prong fork?
I have no idea. What about frilly toothpicks?
You're just sticking your 2 fingers in there, putting them, licking them off.
Cocktail toothpicks, I think.
It's a club toothpick for the club sandwich. We'll start a club.
And then I tried Vienna sausages again recently just to see if it brought back childhood memories. And I was like, harder times. And I passed. And I was like,
oh, no bullshit, Audra. I didn't know what potted meat is? I did not know this. I didn't even. Do you know what that is? Because
Oh
I
my
didn't know
God.
this. And a
Lips and
girl I work
assholes.
with. Oh no fucking way! She showed me. Like she goes.
Right.
Girl at work goes. You never tried potted meat? I'm like, what the fuck is potted meat? She's like, it's like a can of meat. I'm like spam? She goes, no, it's not like spam.
Like
Dude,
chicken in
she
a
showed
can.
me. It looks like straight up cat food. I was like,
Oh,
I've seen that. Hey, if you
no,
did that to Vienna
hell
sausages,
no.
that's what it would be. It would be potted meat.
right.
Ugh.
She was like, man, growing up on the reservation, she's like, we ate this shit all the time. It's really good. Just put. I was like, you would never catch me eating that shit
Nah.
ever. No way. I'll throw up
Right.
before it even touches my mouth. No way.
Pot and meat, but not potted meat. Nope.
You know.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus.
right.
Yeah. All right,
Nasty ass shit.
number 3, Mike.
Who was the worst teacher you ever had and why?
Yeah, call her out by name.
Yeah,
Man.
or him, Kyle. Jeez.
Golly, this is hard because most of my teachers, like, I don't want to brag, but most of my teachers were so nice to me.
They
They
just
just
love
loved
me
me.
so
Like I always got away with it, like everything. There was this one teacher I had in 4th grade, and her name was Miss Sherman, and she was one of those handsome type women, just tall and buxom.
Oh shit, she'd fit right in today.
She's
And
handsome.
One of them handsome women.
She just walked around and she had big bug eyes, like they almost were coming out of her head, And so every 4th grader was like, and she kept one of them
Right,
half
thought she was an
shut.
alien.
This one like bulged out a little bit more, and she was really strict all the time. But I harnessed Miss Sherman in motherhood every now and again, and I'm like, why didn't you pick up the Play-Doh?
Miss
But she was
Sherman.
mean
Sounds
mother
like a
hater.
all day, And I was just this tiny little scared white girl, just like, and she was just like this big woman with these bulging eyes. She never did anything to me per se because I was really good and quiet, but she was just always mad feeling.
I don't like Miss Sherman. I don't. Nope. No, thank you. Miss Sherman sounds like the potted meat of elementary school teachers.
A lot of my teachers didn't like me. I think I was the problem though.
Yeah, there's a common denominator at some point, right?
Yeah.
No, like me.
I had a teacher named Mr. Mom.
No, you did not.
It was MALM. He was my history teacher, and his hair was so white it was yellow. You know what I'm saying? You ever see those old guys that their hair is like yellow?
Yeah.
Nasty ass dude.
But she was such a handsome woman.
Dude,
I threw a stink bomb in that dude's class, and I got fucking expelled. Well, not expelled. I got suspended indefinitely.
Stink bomb from? Like, how do you guys even figure that out?
What, a stink bomb? I bought it at a flea market where I bought bootleg Tommy Hilfiger shirts and shit.
All right.
Like me and Mike were talking about this question earlier, and I named a couple, but then now the more I think about it, I think I could name about 17 teachers that I hated and they hated me. So
yeah, I had teachers literally tell me to fucking quit. Like, what kind of teacher are you? I had a teacher tell me, like, listen, Mike, it's over. You're never gonna graduate. You might as well just give up now and just start working or just go get your GED. And I'm telling you, I went back to school. I'll tell the story one day about my school fucking shit. But I walked across that stage. I had like,
it's still there.
Oh yeah, 90% of me passed high school just to fucking look in that piece of shit's right in their eyes. As soon as I came up, I didn't even grab they called my name. I took like 3 steps onto the stage and I just looked out and just put both my hands up like this and just like looked so slow across the friggin' audience. Like,
Eye of the Tiger,
all you sons of bitches.
Box behind them.
Yeah, I came back to just pass high school to fuck with every single one of you. Bastards.
Nice.
Oh,
I hate that shit.
Amy's in the comments saying, Kyle, what did one tell you? The gun teacher, I think. I don't know what she's talking about, but I do know that I blew up something in the school cafeteria one day and like fucking made a gigantic mess. And so I got put on like mopping duty. This is like middle school. So I'm
Of
like,
course.
so I'm like mopping the cafeteria. And Mr. McCarthy, shout out Mr. McCarthy. He was kind of a cool guy, but he was a straight shooter. That's why like we would get along nowadays, but he fucking hated me back then.
I had a Miss McCarthy, and we're still friends.
You know what he told me? Mr. McCarthy said, Kyle, you better get used to mopping floors because the only thing you're going to ever be is a janitor. And that stuck with me.
You
That
mean a
stuck with me
master?
forever, dude. That stuck with me forever, man. He was like, yeah, you better get used to mopping floors because that's all you're going to amount to is a fucking janitor. I was like, man, what a
Excuse
dickhead.
me, sir. It's
You
called a
just can't say
master
that
of the
kind of stuff
custodial
anymore.
arts.
I went home and I was like, yeah, Mr. McCarthy told me today I'm going to be nothing but a janitor. And my parents were so pissed, man. But I was like, don't call it school. Man, he's a cool guy.
I
Leave him
wish
alone.
teachers were still that gangster with these kids these days. I
They
wish they
should
would
be.
call them out like that. They can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kid might
Hey,
do better just to spite them.
Right.
Is-
Thank you. You know.
A raccoon just walked in right in front of me. Oh, raccoon.
Kyle's a master of the custodial arts. That's what he is.
Yeah, master of the custodial arts. Audra, what was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? Ever?
Oh man.
That's a rough question.
These are because like I don't have the type of personality where I try to get embarrassed. Like it's just if something happens, I roll with it or I'll laugh with it or okay, so I don't know if I was embarrassed. So my parents split up when I was 2, remarried, and I have a brother, and then we gained 2 stepbrothers. So I'm at my stepmom's house, my dad's house, and I'm laying on my brother's bed, and I guess I just fell asleep. You know how you just lay down and you just fall asleep? I was a little girl, I just fell asleep. And all of a sudden I'm opening up my eyes like this real slow. My 3 brothers drug me to the side of the bed and were taking turns farting in my face. And so
You get pink eye?
and it wasn't like there were a lot of people around to be embarrassed in front of, but it's like, but I like woke up and there's my like one of my brothers like butts like pulled his pants down.
Oh, bare
like,
ass. Then circle back to Mike's question. Did you get pink eye?
No pink eye. No pink eye. None.
Wow.
Not that day.
Squeaky clean, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. But to this day, I don't know if I woke up embarrassed. I was definitely upset, but I was also confused because I was in such a deep sleep. And then like telling people about like, how do you tell your like I'm a victim of farts. Like, you know, who wants to be a victim of farts?
I got to be honest with you. Audra,
Some people like that.
I'm glad you went the fart route with that story because when you started talking about 2 stepbrothers and an embarrassment, obviously the internet has warped. The internet has warped my fucking mind. I was like, oh no, don't even go this route.
I've never hooked up with my stepbrothers.
Oh God!
It was just farts.
It was just farts.
Eric
That's
Williams
awesome.
says, "Don't you hate waving at people who you think are
Right.
waving at you?
You
Shit makes
know
you feel like an
me,
idiot."
Because my biggest fear, especially in a small town, is someone like knowing me, but I forgot who they were or whatever. And so I wave at everybody. I'm always waving just in case. Because the other, detriment to a small town, well, I saw her at Walmart. She didn't wave to me. She didn't say nothing to me. So I wave to everybody.
Do you pull the wave and like when you realize you don't know them, do you like
psych?
Play with you're like just play with my hair.
Oh no, it's just like, hey, okay, we didn't know each other. That's fine. See you, bye. You know me now.
Man, I couldn't answer that question. So God bless you, Audra Cummings. Number 5.
Question number 5. What is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten?
I don't know. Like, who is it going to be weird to?
You.
Potted meat,
Okay,
obviously.
you guys are like drudging up my childhood.
Yeah, that's
Damn
what
you.
we want to do is like bring up stuff that you haven't thought about for a while.
Yeah, I haven't thought about any of these for a while.
I mean, you
Okay,
kind of
so-
answered it earlier, didn't you? Were you talking about that friggin' potted meat, or is that Kyle?
Yeah,
No, that was
banana
me.
sausages. That's not too weird. Is it weird
Or
that my
nasty?
cousin and I, we had a theory one day in the backyard at my grandma's house. And my grandma was the type of grandma that kicked you out and locked the doors, and you were not allowed to come back inside until she called you to do so, or you had to go number 2. And then you had to prove you had to go number 2. And those are the only 2 reasons you could come inside or anything. And so we're just locked out in the backyard, and we're just bored, kicking our feet, you know, forced to find something to do. Sitting there talking, and it was just like, well, salad is like leaves, right? Like it just grows in the ground like leaves. Well, what if we just try eating these leaves? Maybe that's like eating salad. And we literally picked up a handful of brown dead leaves that had fallen off the tree and started
Brown leaves.
crunching on them. Like,
Not even
okay,
a green leaf.
It wasn't even green leaves. It was the dead ones that fell. And we were just like, I was like, okay. And we crunched for a bit. He put a whole bunch in his mouth and actually swallowed. I crunched for a few minutes and just was like, maybe this isn't salad. Like maybe we're just going a little too far. And I just started.
But this grass looks good.
Yeah, just, you know. So I guess, you know, if you're really making me answer the question,
Yeah,
that would have to be it. It has
Just
to be
tree leaves. Mike,
Yeah,
could you
I've
answer
had
that?
snails, I've had buffalo, I've had gator. In Florida, we eat a lot of alligator. You know, just
yeah. I had
I don't know,
alligator.
weird,
That's.
but
I had
leaves.
a-
I think that's weird.
I've eaten ants before.
No, I've never eaten
Ugh.
ants. Did you do like the chocolate dip Thailand?
No, I
ants or
just ate
something?
them on like a dare or something, you know. Like you,
I
like as a kid.
though.
Hey, eat some ants. I said, hell yeah, I'll eat some ants. Oh, I ate ants.
And you were fine. You're okay.
I was fine. I lived, you know.
Yeah, no bite.
I'm
You
still here, I
bite,
think.
throat burn.
No,
Nothing?
I mean, I was a kid too. So
Okay.
nowadays I'm picky. We used to do a game in my house where we'd be like, you got to find like the craziest shit. And then the other people had to eat it. So you just kind of like open up the cabinet and you go, all right, I'm going to take a piece of bread, a little bit of mayonnaise, some 4C fucking iced tea mix. There you go. Take a bite, you know? And that's what we would do. And then we just make the craziest shit you could ever eat. And then, and that was like a game.
Did you have to close your eyes and guess what it was? Because that's what I did with my cousins. I was like, close your eyes and guess what this is.
No, we just went all out, just started mixing shit, and you just got to eat it. You had to take a bite. It didn't matter.
Okay, I made them close. Like I was the ringleader, and I was pretty mean. I don't know. I guess I was kind of mean. But I would take just like sticks of gum and dip it in orange soda. Like, good, right? That's good to a kid. But I would tell them, it was like, okay, close your eyes and guess what it is. And I'd have it all mushed up and wet with soda. And it wasn't like the taste was bad, but the texture was like, you put a booger in my mouth.
I could tell you
Boogers.
that something that I eat, and it like Amy has thought that I was so fucking weird for this. Like ever since we've been together for 17,
Does this have to do with dipping?
Yes, I
know what it is.
I will eat Oreo cookies with anything liquid. Anything.
You would dip it in orange juice.
Iced tea, beer, water.
Just
milk.
dips it in. Oh, wow.
I don't give a fuck what that liquid is as long as it softens the cookie. And Amy, like, I would like take the Oreo cookie with like a glass of iced tea and the first time I think I ever did it in front of her was with iced tea. And she goes, "What the hell are you doing?" So I'm eating these fucking Oreos. She's like, "It's iced tea." I was like,
Yum.
"Yeah, it's wet. It's good. It softens the cookie."
There she is. How, Amy? How? Like, you're ruining the integrity of the Oreo itself. We keep Oreos in this house. We keep them.
Ranch dressing Oreos. I will do a ranch dressing Oreo if I could get. I'll do it right fucking now. Ranch dressing Oreo. I got Oreos and ranch dressing. Should I go grab?
I've been on weight cuts for so long. I might do a ranch dressed Oreo. I don't.
Mike, you have ranch dressing and Oreos in the house right now?
Yeah,
I do.
Will you do it?
I'll do it.
Run.
Well, now I'm jealous because I can't like participate.
I'm going to tell you right now, Audra, I don't think that I would eat an Oreo with ranch dressing, to tell you the truth. Because Oreo, well, ranch dressing is not liquid, dude. I wouldn't.
It's not going to soften the hard cookie for your delicate, tender mouth, so you don't have to crunch it out.
Yeah, I have such a delicate. Listen to my delicate, tender mouth every time I'm on this show.
Here we are.
You guys know that weight cut, right? Like,
we bought it.
Not even right.
Let's do it, Eric William.
Yeah, he is eating it for you, Audra. Here we go.
Oreos. Hidden Valley. Hello.
Oh my God! Do it, Mike.
Let's do it.
This is brutal.
Should I open it up and put it like in the middle?
Yeah, you gotta pour it on top of it.
Yes.
Oh my God! You're gonna put ranch dressing in the middle of a fucking Oreo.
Oh, fuck! Oh, it drips. Ooh, it's gonna look like something else happened down here.
Look at it.
All right. Okay.
Look at this.
Well, this is gonna be horrible. No, this is not gonna be good. Oh yeah, hold on.
Ranch dressing on the Oreo.
Ranch dressing Oreo mixture.
I can't believe you're.
Okay, it's coming out the side. All right, here goes nothing.
Is it? Oh my God! What does it taste like? Is it good?
I can taste.
It has like.
I'm starting to salivate over a ranch Oreo. What the hell, you guys?
You know what? It's weird, but like
you can
it's not that bad.
Oh well, maybe you just.
It's weird, but it ain't that bad.
Dude, shout out to Eric Williams for starting that whole shit. Yeah, Brad Kelly says food porn.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Eric
Williams says, what have I started?
What have I started?
It was a good idea. I said, you know what? I have Oreos right now.
Oh,
do you dip are you a Wendy's? Are you a fry dipper into your Frosty? Do you dip your fries in your Frosty?
I have, but I don't.
I've done that.
Oh, that's the thing. If I go just for a Frosty, I will just get a small fry just for the dipping. Got you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know what? I'm going to fucking eat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat some Oreo fucking ranch sandwiches pretty soon here, I think.
You and me both.
Go for it. It was weird. It was very weird, I got to tell you. But it wasn't
God, I can't even imagine.
My body is so clean and sober right now, and I haven't even really been eating any seasonings. I've just been eating.
All right. Well, then here.
Broccoli.
After your fight, after your weigh-in and your fight, you go
ahead. We'll have ranch and Oreos for you.
You make yourself a Tito's and something
Tiger Life,
vodka, like a real strong vodka drink.
Tito's and Tiger Life.
You get a pack of Oreos, and then you eat the entire pack of Oreos, dipping it in the vodka drink. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later.
Oh yeah.
Okay. My homegirl and local professional fighter, Monica Medina. She told me her last. Do you guys know Monica?
She came on.
Yeah, she came on here.
Oh, for her game bread.
Yep.
Yay! She works super cool. A lot. She gives so much to me. But she said her thing was after her last weight cut, she ate like 2 packs of Oreos. And so this is all making me think of like Monica, and I'm gonna message her like, Monica, bring the Oreos.
You know what? And
that's my wife.
We just spent the last.
He's not.
We just spent the last 10 minutes of this show talking about eating things, and you're cutting weight. So we're officially fucking assholes.
Assholes. Asshole. Everyone's got them, and we are them.
All right. Well, you know what? You are an absolute treat every time you come on the show. We love you and Crystal, so we hope to see the greatest show on earth at BKFC 20, August 20th, Biloxi, Mississippi, your backyard. You got to feel good about being the home team, right?
I do. And I told my friend this this morning. We were talking, and and he asked me a question or something, and I was like, you know what I did this morning? I was like, I don't know why, but I know Crystal has to travel a really long way. I mean, from California, that's got to be pretty uncomfortable. I think that's where she's coming from. And I said a little prayer for her and her team, and safe travels, and health and wellness, because I would really like her to be at her best, and I want her and I to both be able to experience this, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
We are too.
Well, we are too. We can't. Hey, and I don't know if you saw that last comment that my sister threw up there. We came up with cherry fireball snow cones, right, Kyle?
Okay, that sounds interesting, actually.
So I'll tell you a quick story. My dad and my mom have been like lifelong partiers. My dad is like the funnest fucking guy on the planet. They have this big house, and they have like in-ground pool, and they have the best like summer party house, pool area. There's music. So my dad goes out and he buys like this big snow cone machine because he's got a shitload of grandkids, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make fucking snow cones. That's how my dad is. I'm gonna make fucking snow cones. That's what I'm gonna do. So he buys a big fucking snow cone thing, and he's like, everybody bring bags of ice because I'm making snow cones. We get there. He's got 35 flavors of snow cone stuff. He's got the machine. So he's like making snow cones like crazy for everyone, kids, adults. And he says, Kyle, what kind of snow cone you want? I'm like, Fireball? And he's like, and he goes, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes. He goes, what flavor should I put with the Fireball? And my sister's like, cherry? He goes, cherry Fireballs coming up. And my fucking dad was so happy to be like, he's in the house. He must have said, this is awesome fucking 85 times. And he kept fucking handing out. And of course, my dad, he's on the grill all day cooking for everybody else. He's making snow cones for everybody. He doesn't eat a goddamn thing all day. The fucking party started at 11 in the morning. By 5 p.m., he's like 17 sheets to the wind, and he don't know how the fuck he got there. And I'm like, Dad, have you had anything to eat? He goes, I had snow cones. I'm like, go sit in the pool and stay in the low end. Stay in the low end, sit on the stairs, so you don't drown, you fucking moron.
Mike, if you don't, that's it. Don't let me catch you in the parking lot, brother.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's. Oh my God, did you just really?
Nothing came out.
Oh, wow! I thought you just did a shot of.
Nothing came out. I was gonna do it, but it didn't come out. I had to be honest.
All right. Well, I think we've kept you long enough. We've had a fucking awesome show with Quentin, then Reggie, and then our girl Audie K. I can't wait to see you down there. Any last words before we let you go?
I love everybody who is helping me and investing in me and not asking one thing back from me. You know who you are, and I appreciate you so much because it really does take a team. It really does take a village, and I am so blessed with the people I have pouring into me. And so that's all I want to say. Prayers for all the fighters coming and all the teams and all of our great interviewers, podcasters. Thank you guys for having me, and I just can't wait to just have some fun next week, and let's see what happens, and let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Well, we will see you next week.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
See you later.
See ya. Mike.
Hey-o.
Dude, that was fun.
Here we are. 2 hours and 18 minutes later. What the hell happened tonight? This is what happens. We get 3 guests. They're all good guests. We keep on talking. Next thing we know, it's 11:22. I have work in the morning. You're on vacation, so I can't even go to your desk and waste fucking time talking to you and shit just to try to get through the day. So now I got to fucking just do my thing tomorrow, man. I got to fucking push through the day tomorrow.
2 hours and 10 minutes into this show, you eat a fucking Oreo with ranch dressing, dude.
Man,
More
I just
power
had,
to you.
you know, Eric says this, and I said, you know, I do have Oreos because I just gave Oreos to Brooklyn because I said, hey, you want some cookies? Bristol wanted cookies. I said, I gave her cookies, and I gave her cookies. So, you know, I got to give cookies to Brooklyn because now she's going to cry if she doesn't get fucking cookies. And Brooklyn is allergic. So my youngest daughter, she's allergic to milk. She doesn't have, she's not lactose intolerant. She is allergic to milk. So she cannot fucking have milk. So I got to buy all this special weird shit that you wouldn't even know what this brand is. You know, we got to get special shit. So she gets these cookies, but we don't give those cookies to everyone in the house. So she's got to fucking have Oreos. So I was like, oh my God, I remember. I got a fucking pack of Oreos. And we always have ranch. So ain't even a
shout
question.
out Eric Williams. Thanks for tuning in. First time watching the show. He'll be turning in every time.
I know.
You know, we like to have fun on the show for sure, man. And I'm pretty sure you invented Oreo ranch cookies tonight. So, you know, you're a goddamn legend, Eric Williams.
And if this is, first time watching the show, and I'll be, thank you so much.
Mike, no shows next week.
No shows, but, however, we are going to BKFC 20 next week. And we will have a whole bunch of interviews, some behind the scenes stuff. We'll be sharing stuff constantly. So we might go live while we're there. No promises, but we might. I know Dan Stevens from BW Sports 1. Did I say that right?
BW Sports 1. Yeah, BW Sports 1.
He wants to do something with us.
Collabo down there with us. So
stay tuned.
Listen. All the people that we talked to in the last couple days are all going to be fighting down there. We have a good relationship with all of them. I'm sure we'll put some content with all these guys.
Yeah,
we're down there. So, and Eric Williams says, "I'll see you guys down in Biloxi. Got to link up for sure, man."
Yeah, come right up to us if you see us.
If you see us, come right up to us. If not, hit us on. Just message us, and we'll meet up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right? Who's you guys' third wheel? Anyone? Megan? One day, I promise, we'll start rolling with an entourage. But until then,
buy a plane ticket and it'll be you.
Yeah.
Because we already have the hotel in the car.
Eric trains with Quentin, so that's cool. All right, we'll
nice.
See you down there, Team Hero. All right, Mike, you got to get to bed. You got to work in the morning. Let's fucking call it a night. Everybody,
got to get to work.
Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.